question. I just sent a short. Okay. Normally adoptions are covered or records are sealed, protect reputations. And I'm talking about the context of the time zone in which I was born. Because my father was in the military. Okay. He wasn't married. You know, I don't know the whole story. And this is why I kind of went ham on Carrie this morning. See, because I don't even fucking know. You see what I'm saying? My records and shit sealed, and you making accusations and making all these disparaging statements about me, your brother, right? I ain't never raped you. I ain't never stole from your daddy. You know, I ain't never done nothing to your sister, nothing. You know what I mean? I ain't never done nothing to your mammy. Matter of fact, my first wife was robbing your mama and my daddy. But your mama, you, and Tracy was going around calling me a goddamn deadbeat and had my dad come into my goddamn job like I wasn't paying child support. And it so happened, I woke up that morning and I had just cashed my check and had my pay stub in my pocket. And all that money was coming out of my goddamn check. And Serena, my first wife, was going over there getting money from my dad and my goddamn stepmom, your mammy, Carrie. Okay? And then, you know, you clap back at me, right? Okay. I wouldn't even ever known that your dad was even fucking breathing, sir. Mr. Kerry Eugene Charles. I would have never known your daddy was even living had I not had a book in 1994 and opened it and all his information was in there at Willie's house on Onslow in Houston, Texas. Our uncle, Willie, Big Willie. So I would have never known about you, nigga. Nigga, girl, whatever you are, whatever you identify yourself. I don't know if Trump still has rights for the trans people or not. I don't know what that is all about. So I ain't going to disrespect what your lifestyle is. I only know people don't give a damn. You a celebrity. You got money to hide it. You should have kept it here. But you should have left me the fuck alone. Send me them emails talking about I'm a lowlife and all this shit that you heard from your mammy and your sister probably. Because you was a goddamn child sitting in the room dressing up in drag and shit when you was a kid. You didn't think I knew about that either? So don't come talking to me about what I'm a deadbeat and all this. A lot of people was deadbeats in their 20s. Obviously, your daddy was, because your daddy couldn't explain to me how the fuck I got adopted and hid it from his goddamn wife. Because when he broke up with my mama and my mama didn't marry him, he went and left and married your mama. But he was dealing with your mama the whole goddamn time. So how the fuck is that my fault? Sir? Because now you got me so goddamn mad. I came on the lab, but now I'm so goddamn mad, Kerry Eugene Charles, you goddamn celebrity NBC man. How the fuck am I supposed to know? I didn't even know your dad because my mama told me my dad was dead. And then I go to get my adoption records, and my records are sealed in Clark County. And the same goddamn judge that did my adoption is the same one that handled my goddamn stepdad's brother's penitentiary sentence right before I got adopted. Because you Grand Avenue folks had my mom so goddamn ashamed because I'm an illegitimate bastard child. And then when I do get introduced to you all as kids, you was a minor, Jason was in fucking high school, Brian was in high school, Tracy was just moved over to Faith, just moved out the house on Faith Village driving a little green Honda. Where I was at because my nephew Trey's daddy wasn't doing shit for Tracy. I was. Driving over there sitting with Tracy, making sure she had food for that boy. When they ain't had no goddamn babysitter. And Sean was out there fucking around with the one he ended up marrying. That was me, Kerry Charles. And I'm mad as hell. Y'all call me crazy? And you stupid bastard? You call me goddamn crazy and you a celebrity? You sit next to Colleen Marshall every goddamn day and you talk to me when I was in Troy homeless and told me my daddy didn't want to see me? And then my brother Jason calls me. He taking you onto the airport and you talking about me like a goddamn dog, but I dropped you off at college. I dropped you off at college. And I'm not saying this because I need some kind of goddamn clap or some congratulations, motherfucker. But you, Charles, damaged my goddamn life. And I kept y'all out of it. You got a motherfucker, my daddy, Benny Charles, October 28th, 1947, where the fuck he was born. And you fuck around with my mama, and then you introduce me to your wife and your kids, and you walk off and fucking leave, and that's how you introduce me to your goddamn family. And then your kids don't know me and they treat me like shit because you a coward. And I don't hate my dad. But you a coward because you need to address your wrong with your wife and your family because my mama was the side hoe. And then you live around for my cousin and my uncle and my Uncle Ed. So Christina, Quez, and all y'all that block me and shit, let's just know the whole goddamn story prior, family, or how I'm so fucked up in the head and why I'm going out here airing y'all out. I'm airing y'all out because y'all knew about my dad. My dad lived about 30 seconds from Edward Pryor on Hudson in Dresden. My dad lived in Ontario in Clinton all them goddamn years. And y'all knew it. Michael Hopkins, your dumb ass, you knew it because my dad was over there playing bid with your damn mammy. And then your mom act like she's surprised. See, I'm so goddamn mad. And I said I wasn't going to fucking drag nobody. It's dead. I said I wasn't going to do it. But y'all played cards, and my motherfucking aunt dressed him by his goddamn name. And everybody on my mom's side of the family don't call him Benny. They call him Charles. So how the fuck do I know? And how am I wrong? Mr. Kerry Charles, Mr. Celebrity. Okay? How am I wrong and how am I unstable and all this shit when your dad walked off and left and didn't fight for his goddamn child? He knew he was laying dick. And then Tracy, you want to be so goddamn conniving and controlling, you the one that broke the goddamn marriage up. First of all, because you was jealous of me. Because you was intimidated, thinking I was coming back for some goddamn money. Because remember, that was your first comment to me when y'all walked in your goddamn door. And you said, yeah, he got some street in him. And if it wasn't for KC Washington, I told you I always honor the Washington family. If it wasn't for KC Washington at Newalt, because KC was there when I met my father and I came to KC. And I told K, and then people then, Hezekiah Meredith, Chucky's daddy, was going around calling me a liar, talking about it. You know, I'm making up shit and I'm unstable. Yeah, y'all was doing that, Hezekiah. You know you was. He dead and gone. And KC Washington told me that wouldn't be wise. You don't know them people, don't go to Texas. Because my dad was putting pressure on me about relocating to go down to Texas to build my damn people. And always threw in my face, if I had you, you wouldn't have turned out the way you were. Well, motherfucker, if you wouldn't have been scared of Tracy, and let Tracy intimidate your motherfucking ass and got you running all over the goddamn place. And she act like she hates you so goddamn much, calling private meetings, conniving with your mom, your ex-wife, breaking up your marriage, hacking into people's phones and shit, leaking voicemails. And then I get invited thinking I'm coming over for a goddamn dinner. And I get over there and all y'all waiting down in the basement for me. All y'all already there. You, Jason, Brian, and Carrie sitting all in the goddamn basement waiting on me to confront me about some shit about my goddamn dad. And let you tell it, Miss Tracy Charles, the man you love so much, you talked about him like goddamn dog and ran him down to my wife talking about I'm just like Benny Charles. And I ain't nothing like him other than my goddamn attitude. And if I was, still in them streets, my dad is not a street man. But if I was still in the street, I'd be like my dad, like I used to be, and pull my fucking pistol out and be shooting at folks. Because my dad keep a little 38 in his goddamn pocket and we'll let you have some business if you fuck with him. But my dad don't like confrontation. And he's scared of Tracy Yvette Charles. But you dumb bitch, you fuck around and you have my daughter over there and you have my daughter out there. They got them fucked up, running my daughter down, calling me a drug addict. I got all the screenshots. I was waiting for my name to come back because you're a retired state employee. Whether you retired or got fired, you was hiding shit from the government. You invited me to your damn house. And then you tell me to get out because you're going out of town to visit somebody. Didn't even tell me. And I had all my stuff in the car. And you had me unload all my stuff out of my trunk. Knowing I was going to Pilot, taking showers and doing this and that, trying to make it. And you sitting there asking all kind of questions. And then you pull my wife into the mix and run her down like a dog. Then twist the narrative and blame the shit on my wife. Bitch, all you had to do, because you my emergency contact and you are my blood sister, all you had to do is them agencies that was contacting you answer the damn phone and they would have told you to check my records. I ain't never dropped dirty for no dope. Ain't never been hooked on no dope. Have I ever tried and experimented with drugs? You goddamn right. But I have ever been a drug addict? No. Never. Street? Very much so. Never a drug addict. Never a dope fiend. I was a drunk. Remember? I wasn't even smoking weed all like back then. I was smoking a lot of cigarettes and Wild Irish Rose. And back then I was a clear man. I was drinking Tanqueray. So don't tell me that what I was and wasn't doing. Because see, you talk all this shit, right, Miss Tracy Charles, and you work for the State of Ohio Transportation. See, I could have called I got people that work over there. My stepdad spoke. Right? You know, my stepdad's cousin, you know him, Ricky. The same one that found my stepdad on the side of the damn road. But Ricky, yeah, that's my stepdad. Right? But, you know, y'all incite all this trauma. You call me a deadbeat. You call me all this and that. You work for the state. Check the information. Am I deadbeat? You know what I mean? I tried to be there for my niece and nephews. I was there when goddamn Tasia was born. And her mama was full of shit, putting my brother through hell. And I protected Jason and saved his goddamn life. When he was fucking around with that girl over there at St. Stephen's that happened to be a friend of mine's brother's wife. And he's a pastor. One of the Sander boys. Johnny. I think it was Johnny. JoJo, one of them. Jason was fucking one of them over at St. Stephen's. Because my daddy was friends with Lonnie Poindexter, the fire chief. And I was knowing Lonnie for years because Lonnie lived in the same neighborhood that I grew up in with my Aunt Jerry and them. Small world. I knew all these people all that time. And Lonnie, when I started getting real sick, Lonnie looked out for me when Ronnie was running St. Stephen. Lonnie made sure I had my medicine. You know, and I give my hats off to my dad, but my dad was trying to be my goddamn friend and not my dad. And I needed a goddamn dad. I didn't need a fucking friend. You know, I asked questions and I have answers, and Benny Charles never gave me no answers. You know, because my dad's philosophy is, it happened, it's over with, don't worry about it. He's not the kind of guy to sit down and be a mediator amongst his kids because he already had another family and he didn't know me. And he looked at me as a friend because all we did was sit around and hang out and have a couple drinks together and talk some shit. All I wanted was my goddamn dad. And if you motherfucking women out here don't understand that, and you goddamn tackhead ass women don't understand why some of these men be flipping out and shit and going off, well, now you know why. Because you got some stupid ass motherfucking women out here that manipulate these men and then have the men hating their kids or the kids hating their dads and all this shit, or sibling rivalry and family rivalry because grown ass motherfuckers don't want to speak up. Willie knew about me. Freddie knew about me. And you're a goddamn lie, Willie and Mabel, if you say you didn't know because you goddamn did. Because when I first met my grandma Liz, the first thing she did was put up my goddamn birth picture and a letter my mama wrote. And your brother was in the goddamn military when that happened. So how the fuck you say you didn't know about me all them goddamn years? And my mom was calling goddamn brothers' names out. Only ones that didn't know about me was, well, Leo knew. It wasn't Willie. It was Leo and Freddie. Because my mama told me that I was wild as hell like Freddie. Because Freddie come out third war, Texas. Third or fourth war, one of them goddamn wars down in there. And Freddie ain't got no problem blowing him motherfucking head off either. He's wild as hell. And I love all them men. The ones that looked out for me and did what was right. Eddie Ray, Freddie, and Larry. Willie full of shit, because when I was going to go down there after my grandma died, Willie had me lined up. I was supposed to be lined up with a job because I was managing in McDonald's then. And I was going to transfer up to Texas, and I ain't heard from them since. I called out the blue. I heard somebody died and went to jail. Mabel answered the goddamn phone, and Mabel talking about it's been a long time. I call you back, and I ain't heard from Mabel since, which I don't personally give a fuck. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I don't know y'all, and I just wanted to know you. You know, y'all played the beautiful game when I was married. Me and my wife went down to Texas with Deanna, and we went down there. And you know, they spread the table out, did the shit for my kids. Serena, I think she was pregnant with Nay. No, she wasn't pregnant with Nay. She wasn't. Yes, she was. Yes, she was pregnant with Nay because we slept in Mabel's in the room. She was pregnant with Nay. And then I got drilled like I wasn't really married. I was actually verified all kinds. It was just crazy. And Uncle Era, out of Dallas. I don't know if you retired yet, Uncle Era. You did for me. I appreciate you. And it wasn't about no shakedown. But I'm a Charles at the end of the day, man. And I don't give a damn whether you like my mama, knew my mama. I'm still your blood. And y'all left me out here fucked up. And because I didn't up and leave my wife, then y'all deserted me. And that's fucked up. And that's fucked up. And the era I went to you. And you can't say I didn't. I came to you and I went to Freddie. And I told you and Freddie bold enough to talk to him about it. Aaron ain't gonna say too much shit. I mean, he's a preacher man now. But you know, y'all got some history, so don't act like y'all don't. You know what I mean? But ain't nobody else gonna stand for nobody because y'all got this goddamn hierarchy in the Charles family, like it's the Church of God in Christ. You know, if Willie ain't throwing his thumb up, ain't nobody going with it. Period. That's just how they rock. And ain't no women got no voice in that family, you know, but Tracy Charles. And they don't fuck with Carrie and his mama. I don't know why, but they don't deal with her and she don't deal with them. But to reject me because your daddy was out being reckless, you know what I'm saying? That's some fucked up shit. And you rubbing my face like I'm begging you and throwing my face like it ain't your job to take it. What my goddamn job to take you to Cincinnati either, motherfucker. Was it? And you talk this shit like we so cool, we calm, and then you tell me I got daddy issues and rubbing shit in my face. And then you get with Tracy and run my daughter down in the ground and got her head all fucked up. You know, Tracy act just like Deanna, act just like Tracy and Phyllis, and Tracy act just like my grandma, controlling as fuck. And my grandma loved me. I know she did. And she didn't know me all like that. But that woman, she let nobody fuck with me. And my granddaddy didn't either. My granddaddy didn't say too much shit. But my granddaddy didn't let nobody fuck with me. Eddie Ray didn't either. Brian don't bother nobody. Brian low key. I'm gonna be real about it. Jason, when he was young, he was a little off the chain. He had a whole bunch of mouth. You know, I don't know what that was about, but he's very athletic. He's smart. He's intelligent. He went through the ringer with that Tasia's mama and that dumbass wife that he was married to. I told him about her too. But see, y'all don't want to hear that shit. You know what I mean? We all successful in our own goddamn right. You know, and you can call me the black sheep, the green sheep, the blue sheep. But Tracy, you bet Charles, you a crook. And now that my name's back, I'm waiting on some information to come back on your ass. You know what I mean? And I don't give a damn how you feel. You know, my nephew Trey, I love him. Thank God for your service, but your mom full of shit. And your mom ran your daddy to do the shit that he did because your mom's an asshole and she's a control freak. And you try to control my goddamn daughter and you was stealing money, getting paid from the state to do shit for my daughter and my grandson, and you stole the goddamn money and got rid of my daughter's shit. I know the whole story. And I got the text messages between you and Carrie and all this other shit that you was doing, throwing my mail away when I was out there homeless and I could have had housing and you was throwing my papers away. And the caseworkers and shit that was trying to reach out to you, you was sending them the voicemail because they was contacting me, and a lot of the shit got done away with and put me in limbo, and you spread the narrative I was out on drugs and that's why they had no stability. No, you was my emergency contact. You know what? And you wouldn't call my dad and keep my dad updated. His wife, I ain't never done that, don't even know the fucking woman, but I got a picture of her. Since y'all think I'm so goddamn evil, I got a picture of this woman and my goddamn dad right here. And that's the last picture I got from him. And I don't even know that fucking woman. And I ain't done nothing but respect that woman. But when your goddamn husband, when your son died, woman, my stepmom, and you so goddamn holy, and your son died, even the one that's on dope. When that motherfucker died, I was there for you. Because you called me and prayed, and I played a song for you on the goddamn piano on the phone. But you want to reject me and take up for Tracy, and they call me, put me through hell when I'm homeless? Living in hotels and shit, and got the state of Ohio robbing me and stealing my goddamn money, Governor Michael DeWine's cabinet members hiding and covering up shit. I just aired you out, Mike DeWine. You need to look into that goddamn illegal adoption. Because that David Mathis, the same one that handled my illegal adoption, is dead. That's the same one that was working hand in hand with an open case of my stepdad for some sexual pedophilia shit. And I think Greg made a deal. Because shortly after that adoption, Greg started drinking real bad and was getting arrested and shit. And Dale Forrest was going picking him up. Carl Kelly. Now, I will say this about Carl I didn't like. He did cover that up because Carl Kelly knew he was drunk because Dale Forrest was the one that told Carl Kelly because Dale Forrest didn't believe it. And they went and smelled his goddamn breath. And that little hillbilly that Greg was working for, Rodney, the bigger dude, he was sitting there having... Phyllis, did you tell him about that? You got me so angry, and this brings back up trauma and pain that y'all put me through, and I ain't ashamed to talk about it. This is why I be talking about these hillbillies, my in-laws, and y'all knew all these stories and shit, and y'all sit back and laugh and victimize me, right? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See, y'all get thrills off people getting essayed and molested and shit. I don't go after church folk because I'm just making up shit, because I've been through it. You know what I mean? I shielded my goddamn daughters. Deanna and Nate, to my knowledge, I ain't never known them to be raped or molested by nobody in no goddamn family. But Serena, I know you have been. I know your nieces have been, and you kept my daughters around all that sick shit. Tracy, I don't know if you've been molested or not. Carrie, I don't know what turned you where you are and what you did. Okay? And I don't know why you church folk sit back and let this shit happen. Then when a motherfucker go out and kill one of y'all and do some dumb shit, y'all want to start putting restraining orders, cease and desist, and y'all stealing, robbing people, having people all fucked up and dysfunctional. Then as soon as one of y'all motherfuckers die, y'all want to have a goddamn home going in praise breaks, and y'all been fucking raping kids and all kind of shit. Yeah. So yeah. When my wife get off work today, them ever have that paperwork filled out for that goddamn dude up in that's working for Church of God in Christ General Council, and I'm coming for all y'all's asses, and I'm hell on wheels, goddamn it. Because this done opened some more goddamn wounds this morning, and you done fired up some shit with me, Kerry Charles. You done fired up some shit. Because you got some goddamn shit that was in me that I held and buried for years. And you done ignited some shit, you and that goddamn Tracy. And if your mom in her goddamn right mind, have her motherfucking ass pick up the phone and call me. I ain't got no disrespect to that woman. But for her to shelter you and enable your motherfucking ass while you run out here flaming and shit on the news and shit like you so goddamn proper, and you out here slandering and defaming people, you bastard. And I'm calling you a motherfucking bastard. You tell that goddamn Tony, the vice president of NBC, to get off his goddamn and look at his goddamn emails. Because I was sending him emails long before you went to that goddamn TV station about this goddamn fraud with Aetna Better Health and Medicaid. And they just had uncovered a $6 billion goddamn fraud. You talking about I'm shaking people down. And I'm walking around and can't even eat like the fuck I want to. I can eat, I'm doing fine though, but my mouth is still fucked up. And this dentist is dead, and you my goddamn brother. And all you had to do was pass the information through an email. I didn't ask you for a goddamn thing, but some goddamn moral support. And then you drag me talking about, and my dad told me to call you. That's how I got your goddamn number in your email. Because I wasn't even talking to you, motherfucker. So how the fuck you talking about I'm relying on you? And you act like you couldn't even look me in my goddamn face. And I used to pick my dad up from the airport when he would come in town and drop him off at your goddamn clubhouse. Where the fuck you was living at downtown over on Town Street? Motherfuckers, don't you ever tell me that I used you, your family, nothing. Because I ain't never stayed with none of you black bastards. I ain't never lived in your motherfucking house. And if you really want to be goddamn dumb, your daddy stole from me twice. And your goddamn sister told me to tell not to even say shit because he owed her money for some goddamn airplane bills. And he was running when your Tracy busted that goddamn marriage up, and he lived over on Melrose, ran my goddamn cable bill up to $795 watching pornos. Well, I'm going through shit, and y'all talking about I ain't got this and I ain't got that. And you run around with a motherfucker, and y'all run around with a motherfucker that's running around here, Demetrius and shit, fucking around with his wife, hiding properties and shit like that. And y'all taking up for all that shit. You didn't get mad at me because Lonnie was helping me with my medicine because I got family members that want to live off of me. You know what I mean? Get paid by the motherfucking state, and got motherfucking cousins, wives and shit that work for the goddamn state of Ohio, pushing paperwork through, helping me out, trying to get my benefits and shit right. But then you got bitches like Trina, that lie and connive and hold shit back, and then I'll be fucked up. You know why? Because the check stopped. And I told y'all motherfuckers I didn't want y'all working no more, and I threatened to report y'all to the goddamn state. And then y'all turned on me. That's how it happened. Keep it real, Trina. Keep it real. You know what I mean? Because I can have all y'all locked up because the business wasn't even legal. You want to keep it real? Because y'all wasn't on no payroll. She was getting paid. And y'all was getting side money, and then y'all was easing shit in, forging documents and paperwork and shit, getting paid through the state. You, Durrell, because Durrell never was my goddamn, his wife was. And then Trina, you know it. Don't get me talking about that goddamn house over on the west side and all the money that Jerry used to run through Sherry and Michael. Don't let me start talking about that. And that's why y'all hated Michael so much, because she felt bad for Michael, because Michael know all the dirt. And that's why Michael ain't talking to me and Sherry ain't letting him talk to me. And then Jerry didn't like goddamn Sherry. I'm just gonna keep it real because all Sherry did, I called her my girlfriend, but all she did was sit around in that goddamn house and look at everybody. While Shelby, Daryl, bought in the in-house slave. And they had Shelby doing all the goddamn cleaning and washing, while Trina doing all the hollering and gaslighting, and goddamn Sherry sitting there laughing and giggling and eating, and Michael listening to music, sitting on the porch, we laughing and talking or whatever. And then Jerry, running her goddamn house like she's supposed to. Uncle Hoppy was dead and gone. So goddamn it, don't tell me what the fuck I don't know. But back to you, Kerry Charles. Yeah, I'm waiting for your motherfucking ass. I dare your motherfucking ass, you and Tony, especially this defamation shit you talking about. I got my name back now, goddamn it. I'm gonna show you how unstable I am when you clap back with some goddamn paperwork and evidence, all this shit. And you a media man, so you got access to a whole bunch of shit. I'm challenging you on this goddamn live on YouTube, you bastard. So if you in the closet, you out the goddamn closet now. Matter of fact, go hire Byron Potts, his crooked ass. I remember Byron Potts was a goddamn dope fiend. So go get Byron Potts' ass. Anybody know Byron Potts? You got some clap back? Bring your crooked ass up here and say some shit to me, Byron, because you know I had that malpractice. And the same shit I told you about, you didn't want to take the motherfucking case. And look at the shit. It was real. And you could have got the bag. Legally. And I came to your place for several consultations. You come out, you didn't want to touch it. And I had a black dentist willing to sign an affidavit of merit, Byron Potts, and you didn't want to touch the goddamn case. But then someone sends me a picture of you and my brother in a goddamn picture in tuxedos with some old yellow light-skinned man. They say that's my brother's lover. I don't know if it was or not. If he is, he's a cutie pie, Kerry, like you. You know what I mean? I'm open-minded. I don't give a fuck. You can be gay. Gay mean a whole bunch of shit. Happy, homosexual, whatever you want to be. But all I know, you is a liar and you defame me. I'm not threatening to sue you. I'm going to dismantle your motherfucking fake ass and get you up out this goddamn fairy tale. Because ain't no way in hell you could talk about me and you a goddamn child and I was the only one really pushing you between me and your mama, pushing you when you was on them goddamn TV things. I done took you over there a couple times when you used to go do them goddamn shows when the little kids was doing the TNTV. You don't remember none of that? You know what I'm talking about? And then we want to always blame Asians, blacks, Jews and whites and green and orange. It's black folks. You think you done goddamn arrived. And all you are is a Tracy in a motherfucking pair of pants. You ain't no woman, you a man. You know what I mean? But you want to be all flaming and talk this wild shit, and then your brothers and them, they sit and enable your motherfucking ass because everybody's scared of Tracy. Everybody in the goddamn family scared of Tracy, including my goddamn nephew. Trey is terrified, and all that military training, always talking about you gonna shoot somebody. Bitch, you ain't gonna shoot shit. You talking through pain. And you talking through dreams, bitch. That's what you talking through. And I'm calling you a bitch. You fuck your own family over, just so you can be in some goddamn control. And then go out and spread narratives and lie and be deceptive. So, bitch, if you got all this shit you talk about, you say you got, and I know you don't, as far as talking about me, then bitch, go in the court and do what you got to do. Because now, people going to watch these lies, and I share them with my caseworkers and shit. Don't think I don't. The people I be calling names out and shit, I share my caseworkers and shit and let them know what the fuck going on. Because, y'all motherfuckers can't call me crazy. My workers don't say that. See, y'all motherfuckers was having motherfucking doctors tamper with my shit, had me going crazy and shit. But my dad was there when they had me under that hypnosis at that goddamn hospital when y'all tried to lock me away. And that's when the motherfucking shit came out that I was getting SA'd and shit. And Geraldine Anna Hopkins, my Aunt Jerry, called Phyllis on the phone in front of the goddamn doctors with Benny Charles sitting right there, and Phyllis Fambro said out of her mouth she thought her son was gay. You said that when I was in OSU Harding. And then you told Christina Dobbins that. But Christina Dobbins, instead of y'all helping me with my trauma, y'all want to go out and talk about all this bad shit. But you got herpes, Tracy got goddamn herpes, and y'all both lonely as fuck. Your baby dad gone, your husband gone, you ain't gonna have nobody. All you do is walk around and play baseball, walk around like you so goddamn bad, and bitch, you walk around infected. Lonely and miserable as fuck, because you can't come no more without protection, you dumb hoe. Now, you defame me, I'm gonna tell the motherfucking truth. Now walk around and go get you some goddamn antibiotics so you don't have no goddamn outbreaks, you nasty bitch. And since you want to be in so much goddamn control, you and your brother get together and y'all sit there and get y'all's money together and call your goddamn family in Harris County. Because everybody knows the Charles family's loaded. So down up in Texas, and y'all fuck over Eddie Ray, y'all fuck over Larry. I mean, not Larry, but goddamn Freddie. You know what I mean? But y'all terrified of Willie and y'all terrified of Tracy. Because Tracy's a walking Elizabeth in flesh. I was watching her funeral yesterday. You know what I mean? And then motherfuckers got mad because I was cool with Christine. And that's my fifth cousin, something like that. Fourth or fifth cousin. Right? You know, y'all didn't like that shit because I'm a realist. You know what I mean? Had y'all 8 motherfuckers been in my goddamn life and surrounded me with some goddamn support and quit being scared and operating like y'all the goddamn U.S. Senate Supreme Court and reach out to y'all's nephews and shit and quit talking to them like they some goddamn dummy. Y'all treat Scoot like shit. Scoot been in and out of jail most of his goddamn life. Y'all treat Tweet crazy. No telling what y'all do to Freddie and Kathy. No telling what y'all do to Freddie and Kathy down there. Tell what the fuck y'all do. You know, but y'all support people like Tracy. Because what y'all think, what? You know what I mean? So I don't give a fuck how you feel and how many people that, you know, you try to take down. No, you can't go around lying on people. You stupid motherfucker. It's disingenuous motherfucker. You can't go out and mistreat people and lie on your own flesh and blood and dig ditches and think ain't gonna be no comeback. I'm spinning the block on y'all's motherfucking ass. Hear me? I'm just gonna do it legally. And I'm gonna be as explicit as I goddamn can. Because if this is what helps me release and get this frustration out when y'all go out lying and shit, then goddamn it, you eat it. You prepared the goddamn plate. Right? You prepared the goddamn table and the platform to have me look stupid, but now you gonna look goddamn stupid because I died 3 goddamn times and y'all still stepped on me and shit on me. Priors, Fambros, Charles, and Church of God in Christ and Church of God. You know, my mother started, and the Church of God in Christ enabled it and induced the trauma. And then you got these goddamn people that's talking about y'all saved, and y'all out here and these kids from the church is all fucked up in the head and mad. I'm not fucked up in the head. I'm just overly traumatized. And every time I get to the point where I'm dealing with some shit right, I got some weird ass motherfuckers be popping around. Yeah. So y'all scary ass motherfuckers be out here talking shit and popping off on Facebook and the internet, and then y'all hide and shit. Y'all keep on hiding. I ain't hiding shit. Because I'm on the edge because ain't nothing to lay. And everything goddamn come out my mouth is motherfucking facts. And I'm telling you, Kerry Charles, co-anchor at NBC over there, is a motherfucking trip. And you the same motherfucker was trying to get me to give you deals over at the hotels when I had to connect at the hotels out there in Old and Tangy. Motherfucker, don't say you didn't. You called me, right? Then when your dad told me to call you, which was a setup, you talked to me like I'm a piece of shit. And then apologized like we cool, we done made up and everything. And I thanked you, offered you the money back. You refused to block me on Cash App because I tried to send it to you twice. And you didn't even accept it because you had me blocked. Then I email you, and then you start talking crazy to me, talking about why am I digging into your sex life. Motherfucker, nobody get about your sex life, baby. I don't give a damn. You see what I'm saying? But you're not going to sit and drag my trauma because of your daddy and my mama, and then you try to incite and get in the middle. I just told you about like on the street part. You getting some shit you don't know what the fuck you talking about, then you going to get with everything that's coming with this, baby. You're going to get every goddamn thing coming with this. And if you don't like it, motherfucker, you better resign or you better get up there and make you a goddamn statement on your Facebook page and talk to some of your little high school friends and little girls used to hang around or wherever clubs and socialites you hang with. And, or you got money now, you haven't put a hit out on me or something. Because, motherfucker, I ain't going to be quiet after what you did and what you did to my daughter. And you got me steaming mad at my goddamn kids and y'all been manipulating and shit like this with my goddamn flesh and blood. And your flesh and blood, too, your niece and nephew. And then you lie like you want to be involved in their lives and shit. Your great niece and nephew, and then you don't reach back out to them, but you dogging their goddamn grandpa and shit out, and you think that shit's cool and I'm supposed to be quiet? Motherfucker, I'm still a Charles. And I'm a Davis and I'm a goddamn Pryor. I got a whole bunch and a punch. So I got a little bit additional blood in me. I mean, you got some summer blood in you. Breeze, another one, good to me. Elliot, another one, good to me. Now, Gwen, all them others, I don't know. I know that son of hers was crazy as hell. And Tracy talked about him like goddamn, the one was out there Kareem, one was out there selling dope, whatever the fuck he was, his wild ass, whatever the fuck he was doing. I don't know them Summers. I know Elliot was good to me. He crazy as hell. Y'all talked about him. The other man used to get his hair cut once a year, Bill. Y'all talked about him like crazy motherfucker, want to hit the lottery. See what I'm talking about? And then y'all want to talk about me. But you think because you a ride, motherfucker? I've been a ride. You know, and like I told them Fanbro boys, you still my baby brother. You hear me? And you don't know me well enough to be talking strong to me because I can do the same thing you guys do to my brothers down there. And I got the fear of God and all them motherfuckers. I'm telling you right now, even the one that's dead. You hear me? So fuck what you heard. You better talk to Serena while she was talking all that stupid shit, and you better enlighten on these other motherfuckers. You know, I can pick up where I left off at, but I don't got no time for that. You know why? Because I'm upright. You know what I mean? And I run a tight ship. But I got a loose lip. And I'm going to tell what the fuck is the truth. I don't need to make up shit. I don't need to defame you. But what you ain't going to do is be sending me emails and then robbing my goddamn kids and my goddamn grandkid. And whether I talk to my goddamn daughter or not, it's still my goddamn daughter. And you robbed her, Tracy Charles, and you stole from the state and you deceived them. And that bitch over there, and I ain't trying to be disrespecting my daughter, but I'm mad right now. That bitch is terrified of Tracy. She's terrified of her mama, but they always come back clapping for me. And I done show them paperwork, evidence, every damn evil, crooked thing they mama done to them. Serena, I'm talking about. And these dumb bitches still want to walk around with all this goddamn negative energy toward their goddamn dad. That's their goddamn problem. And if that's the kind of shit, life you want to live, you know what I mean? That's fine. But while you talking shit about me, talk about all them goddamn apartments I set you up with. And you let them baby daddies take all your shit. You see what I'm talking about? So you don't come on and you having your friends call me and inbox me, deriding all these other motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Hear what I'm saying? You know, don't talk about, y'all motherfuckers be talking about me. Don't forget the part where I helped you out. Okay? And carried you through. And you come back to me like I'm a goddamn walking ATM. And the only time y'all want to call me is when y'all need some goddamn money. You see what I'm talking about? And then you want me to bail y'all out every goddamn. I'm not your goddamn ATM. I'm not your goddamn savior. Hear what I'm saying? And these women sit around and think that y'all can just talk to these men any kind of motherfucking way, and then they supposed to just keep forgiving y'all and keep coming back feeling so. I don't give a fuck about what. None of that. I got a good heart, but people with good heart got limits, and my limit is done. I'm on overdraft as far as helping folks that don't want to help their motherfucking self. And I don't give a fuck if you flesh, blood, or mud. If you ain't got no ambition to help yourself and only advice you want from me is how to transfer you some goddamn dividends, but you can't take no good, legitimate advice on the money you behind in child support your dumbass mama scammed you from, and that's exactly the amount of money you behind, and you sit there and protect that bitch, then you sit there and suffer then. That's how I feel. And you got these motherfuckers that want to call. I'm about to talk about you sending me content, video, pictures. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Dorian and any of these other young ass friends, male or female. I don't give a fuck about none of that. You can't blackmail me. You can't put that shit out on me because, first of all, I'm transparent and I ain't got a goddamn thing to hide because I'm not a criminal and I'm not a sexual deviant. Okay? So I don't go out and raping people. And I don't go out taking sex by force and forcing people to do shit. None of that. If people want to act evil to me, I can be vindictive as fuck, but I'm going to do it all within the guidelines of the law. And I'm going to shame your motherfucking ass. Okay? So if y'all motherfuckers want to be dysfunctional, and back to you, Joyce, whatever your goddamn last name is, and I was there for your goddamn son, and you smile all in my face, and you dog your own goddamn daughter, Jenny, you dog Shay out when they was young, treated her like shit when she was dealing with ICE, you's a crooked bitch. And your pastor even said you was weird as fuck when you was going to that goddamn church over there, over on Sullivan Avenue. Remember, I was a pastor, so I know a lot of these preachers. And I tapped in and called that woman when you out here talking about you singing in the choir and shit. And I bump into you every now and then at the goddamn Galloway, and I see your limping ass walking through Kroger's right there at Galloway. I live right down the goddamn street. And all these years, you've been running your motherfucking mouth about me. You done got remarried, and you run around here ghetto fabulous, old as fuck, still washed up, and you got a dysfunctional ass family. And all you want to do is post pictures up and talk shit about people like you so in the lap of God. And you full of shit. And you supported Serena when she was fucking the neighbor upstairs and named my daughter after the motherfucker she was fucking around with. So what the fuck you talking about, Miss Holy Woman? With your crippled ass. Go get a new leg. Matter of fact, get a new walk. And you want to run me down? Yeah. All this sliding, clap back, and y'all doing. And then the motherfucker that my first wife named my goddamn daughter after, that dope thing Kent. I told his sister, her baby daddy's dumbass. I told her, leave the motherfucker alone, because y'all was running around letting him beat the fuck out of Niecy's ass. Oh, I don't remember that. And then y'all would try to have Niecy come downstairs. You know, Niecy come downstairs and be watching me while your mom upstairs fucking the neighbor. Act like she babysitting and playing with goddamn Deanna, and she up there fucking the neighbor and shit like that. And that's the kind of motherfucker talking about y'all did a good job trying to get some clap back at me. Now, bitch, the sister done crippled and you fucked up, Serena Dawn McKenzie or Perry, whatever the fuck your name is. I hope you got in contact with your dumbass son. Tell him to change his goddamn name. And I hope his name, he done changed his name to Leon on social media. He's been blocked for years. I ain't talked to that motherfucker about 10, 15 years and don't care to talk about him. He got a beautiful wife, though. She's like a porcelain doll. And that's my daughter. That was my quote-unquote supposed daughter-in-law when I met her before they got married. Very respectful. She never said nothing to me to my face. I mean, I don't think she bold enough to any goddamn way. But she ain't never said nothing to Jessica. She ain't never said nothing disrespectful to me. I didn't anticipate her to. But her husband, your mom has taught y'all since y'all was walking, calling the motherfucker's daddy. You hear what I'm saying? So keep that same motherfucking energy. I don't give a fuck, little boy. Because you was getting SA too. Yeah. While y'all sitting there clapping at me about that, Tanisha Galen and your goddamn sister, talk to your mom about what Thomas was doing to goddamn D. And that's why your goddamn grandma always kept Thomas and D so goddamn close. But where Thomas at now? Mr. Hanahoochie man. Because all them motherfuckers was SA'd and shit by Roger. And y'all was taking the motherfuckers. Don't tell me y'all wasn't, motherfucker. Remember Jody? Your cousin Serena? Jody lived next door to the man that was messing around with Allison, Amy, and Thomas. And your mom had to get him. Remember that? Yeah. And Harold, Bill's brother, lived right next to the goddamn door. And Roger was living there. And Sue, not Sue, Liz, Sheila, you know what I mean? Sheila Wiley's sister, Susan Gray. You know what I mean? And y'all motherfuckers want to be talking shit about Link. Oh, I didn't hear nobody. Oh, okay. Yeah, bitch. Serena, ain't you the same one who used to let your stepbrother's wife call your kids niggers? Nigglets? Ain't that you, Serena? And you got 3 goddamn mixed kids. The first one probably Puerto Rican or something, but them 2 girls, definitely my DNA. And you had them people over on Princeton, Ken, right? And I told Kathy then, you keep talking about my kids, something gonna happen to one of your kids. And they found Becky dead about 10 years later, chopped up some damn we're in a goddamn river. And now Rachel out here home. I don't know what Kenny doing. He's crazy as hell too. And they forged some papers and let him in the goddamn Marines. Yeah. You know goddamn well you wasn't supposed to be no goddamn Marine motherfucker, because you have seizures just like I do. You can't get in the military with no epilepsy. Lie and say you can, sir. You know you was. You lived out there on goddamn Princeton, and you went into the motherfucking Marine, and Becky was out there hoeing, calling people niggers and shit, just like Kathy was. Kathy dead now, heard. Then you got goddamn Harold was a nice guy. Harold. Jody was cool too. She was a freak. She's like black dudes when she was young. I don't know what she's doing now. Her sister used to run that goddamn KFC on High Street. Katie, is that her name? Big fat girl. That wasn't even Harold's daughter. That was Harold's stepdaughter. Carrie, is that her name? Carrie, Chrissy, something like that. But Jody was cool. But Jody knew what time it was. Jody was wild as hell too. But see, I'm just telling you this. Hey, this is true serious today. True serious. And y'all motherfuckers going around talking about me like a goddamn dog. And like my nephew. He's still my nephew. In my eyes, Daryl Wiley, still my nephew. But, that motherfucker don't talk to me. And he know goddamn well I know some deep shit about his mama and him. So I don't give a fuck about all that shit. Daryl know what I'm about. Daryl don't fuck with me, and I don't fuck with him. He know I love him, and I ain't gonna let nothing happen to him. But the woman he with, she a piece of shit too. But, he been around that toxic ass shit. He was in prison most of his life, because he, fuck around with some people that he had no business fucking with. I ain't gonna call their name out. But he was fucking around with some of them people, and he went to prison as a young man. But Darryl Wiley was close to me. I taught the motherfucker how to drink. He used to sneak me in the goddamn house on 623 Thurman Avenue in the goddamn window when I first came to Columbus, fucking with Serena. Stealing cars, driving me around. I was DJing, stealing cars and shit, driving me around, me and Serena around, like he was our chauffeur. Darryl Wiley. That's my nephew. I don't give a fuck what you say. That's my nephew. And ain't nobody gonna fuck with him. If he really called me tomorrow and said, Uncle Link, I need you to, hey, I'm coming for him. It's my nephew, man. Love him to death. But his wife, she full of shit. And I ain't gonna say too much, but if he ever leave her, or if he ever called me and want some game on his wife, I'll put him up on some game about the kids that ain't his, and I can put him up on some game about what his wife be doing, where she get her shit from, all that. I got all the information. I know them Lunsfords. I know her mama. I don't know her husband all like that. I mean, her brother. I don't know Vernon. Don't care to fucking know him. I know he was a married man, and I know if I would have had concrete proof that he was fucking around with my goddamn wife, it'd be a bad situation for his ass. And I don't give a fuck what kind of street he's from. He's from the South End of Columbus. Ain't no smoke that he can bring my way at all. No smoke. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no threat. That's goddamn fact. Y'all be playing around with people's husbands and wives and shit and thinking that shit's cool. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? See? Because I don't sleep with my wife. I love her and everything. She don't want to be around me. She just needs some security right now, which is fine. I don't give a damn. But if that's what it is, that's what it is. But goddamn it, you're going to be around me. You're going to show me some goddamn respect. And I don't give a fuck if you're a family member, your mammy, your daddy, who the fuck you are. You're going to be in my presence. You're going to show me some goddamn respect, especially if you're complicit in going around lying and making up shit about me. I don't give a fuck. Do I make myself clear? So that people now know this ain't no goddamn game, and this is what we do. We call it corruption, and I hold people accountable across the motherfucking board. I don't give if I say it. If I do, I don't. You married, unmarried, you connected to me in any kind of way, and you done some defamatory, slimy ass shit, then you fucked up legally. And I don't give a fuck. You sit around until I'm cool the fuck down, and I get my motherfucking reward, and the fact that the motherfuckers that have done this shit and keep on inciting trauma and shit like that, yeah, that's what it is. And I hope and pray that you motherfuckers is wrapped up in this clergy shit. Because let me tell you something about this clergy. For you motherfuckers to think y'all real slick. And this don't apply to folks outside the Catholic Church. Because the Catholic got different rights that the average, Presbyterians don't have. When it comes to reporting crimes and shit. You see what I'm saying? See, because when you in confession in the Catholic Church, legally, you ain't got to disclose that. It's almost like attorney-client privilege. Right? Depending on what the crime is and the severity of the crime. Okay. But you clergy to be sitting around doing all this shit and y'all be making people sign, telling about cease and desist and all that shit ain't legal in law. Those are just bluff tactics and intimidation tactics to keep people to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? That shit don't hold up in the court of law. You can't go out and essay folks and then make folks sign disclosures and shit like that. Because if this human trafficking shit is true in the Church of God in Christ, boy, Drew Shoot, I don't even feel sorry for you because you arrogant as hell. And you need to be humble. And you are over a major conglomerate and you need to be held accountable for what the fuck you overseeing and letting people do. And whether you are directly allowing it, you are the chief apostle. And you're supposed to be the one that's above all the other folks that got the ghost. You're supposed to have the Holy Ghost because you're the one that extend apostolic succession in the presidium. You hear what I'm saying? So through your right hand. So if you getting up condoning and you lying in the pulpits and shit, and then you got people in position that cover up for all this other shit, man, you complicit. And the blood gonna be on there. And I don't care how many apologies you make and all that, and how many times your wife try to come behind you and preach a powerful word, or Dorendo or Jackie or any of them, Kiki, her husband, anybody come, your grandson, your kids, Drew Jr., all that, and they get back behind you and do this powerful word or damage control, it ain't saving you. Because they don't have the mandate you do, and you the covering of the whole denomination. So don't make no difference how you try to spin it, sir. It's almost like if an administration come in, like one told me, I don't know nothing about that. Well, it ain't my problem what you don't know. Because this shit been going on, this fraud and all this shit been going on for centuries now. And there's cases that ain't even came up yet. This is some Diddy type shit. Really, it is. This is some spiritual P. Diddy type shit. Only difference is, y'all don't do. I tell you another one, y'all did wrong. I'm done talking about these secular folks. I get back on these church folks while I'm on the roll. Roger Jones. Roger Jones was a good man, still a good man, honorable man, and y'all stripped him down every goddamn thing and gave him his shit back. And he was a dope thing. Thief too, I heard. Why y'all wait so late to get Michael Hill a shot? Michael Hill seemed to be a good dude. Drew, are you jealous of Michael Hill? Because he called you a brother a lot, and y'all seem to be pretty close. But I ain't never heard no stuff on Michael Hill. But that fat dude that ran for Joan Board, I forget his name, little light skinned dude, Dwight somebody. I don't think y'all gave him a shot either. He was a trustee man. And then that other dude that died, Whitehead, y'all didn't do him right. The Sunday school man. Huh? Y'all didn't do Rance Allen right either. He right in your backyard, Drew. You didn't do him right. You definitely didn't do Denise right. I ain't gonna quit talking about Denise till somebody give me some bona fide facts that y'all done made up and done it right. And Karen Clark Sheard, I love your music. I think the last album I listened to your music was finally Karen. I listened to them little snippets they have that Jesus is my help and stuff on my playbook. But I do mean that, Dorinda, and I heard some stuff about you too. But I ain't gonna talk about you if you be nice. Because I know you kind of bougie too, and you got some clap back. I know you can say some shit, but I want to use that, take it back if I can do that, and use your likeness to do some shit like that. Do a remix on it if I could, because I want to use that and have somebody do a hip hop part on that and bring it back. And y'all can't say y'all don't do that because y'all just at Bishop Perry's church with some flaming men and some halter tops a couple years ago when Emmett first got that church. So you can't say that y'all don't. And y'all talk, and you talk about a whole bunch of homosexuals too. And everybody do your daughters them hair is gay, I thought. Detroit full of them. And ain't nothing wrong with them. They do hair and they're the best friends to have. I got a whole bunch of gay friends. I do. I got some transgender friends. I got a whole bunch of friends. You know what I mean? But associates, I'll say associates. But y'all can't be talking about y'all homophobic. And y'all talking all this gospel about y'all family members and some shit. You know what I mean? Y'all played your boy down in Connecticut. And I don't even know him personally, but I know Charles Brewer. Charles Brewer was a street nigga down there in Connecticut. And y'all held him up for a long time. Y'all started doing this crazy stuff, and y'all real intimidated by Dillard. Y'all really intimidated by Dillard. But I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. I'm gonna predict this. I ain't gonna say probably, but I'm gonna predict this from right here. I think that Dillard, if Elijah Hangerson is smart, now I'm a strategist. If Elijah Hangerson is smart, what Elijah Hangerson need to do is he need to lean on Daddy. You know what I'm talking about? The one I'm talking about he had to pee. Or Wooten. He need to get in and be nice to Wooten, fellowship with Wooten. And I'm gonna tell you, another guy got some talent, but if he don't slow down, he gonna fuck around. His heart gonna blow up. He better stay in shape because he got some pipes on him and he got some talent. But I don't know if he's 100% coded because he got a lot of that Baptist in him, and that might cause him a problem down the road. And that's Michael Lampkin. Watch this. I'm gonna show you how this church works based on my observation. If you can sing and you can preach a little bit, they might not let you preach too much. But if you can sing and you can do some runs and shit like that, and quote unquote wreck the church, then they'll if you're outside, they'll gradually bring you in on different platforms, starting out in music. If you notice, before I got confirmation that Michael Lampkin was a full Kojic guy over there with Elijah Hangerson, if he's still over there, he was doing little guest appearances. Him, and then my boy Pretlow. But Pretlow apostolic. Pretlow ain't going to no Church of God in Christ. I think he honored Sheard. But Pretlow ain't doing Church of God. Pretlow been through some trauma too. I've been following his ministry for a long time. I was going to talk about him too much. But I was introduced to him through music. But I've been following him because I got family in Virginia. So I know a little about what he experienced, what he went through. And I think that Pretlow, I think if Pretlow would really position himself, because his wife she really a supporter, and that little girl gonna be on fire too. I don't think they should push her too much. I think that Pretlow's doing it, you know, using discernment and wisdom, and he's bringing her in, you know, instilling it in her, but you know, he made sure she was around that churchy type of environment, so she'll know. Because it's time out for these ladies to sit around with the napkins on their damn leg, and you only put the napkins on your leg because your dress is too damn short. They ain't gonna do it looking dignified. Because ain't nothing dignified about a woman sitting there looking pretty with a matching napkin on her goddamn lap. You know that ain't the style. That's only there because your dress is too short. And if you was really sanctified, you know you'd have that little bit. You shouldn't have to, you know, scoot all like that. When your dress should be long enough so when you sit down, you don't need a damn napkin. I'm just a lap napkin. I'm just telling you, you should need that. And that's why I was open when I pastored and let women wear pants. You know what I mean? Because I know how I feel when you sitting in the pulpit looking at these women, they looking good as hell, and then you see some of them, and some of them do it on purpose. Some of these women be sitting in the front with no napkin on, no panty slip, nothing, and have their coochies. I'm telling you what they do it. Be setting you up, and most of them be preachers' kids because they so stimulated by what their daddy do and saw their mom live such a glamorous life, and most of their mamas is freaks and shit, and then they get married, and if they link up with the right husband, and he a freak and she a freak, and they're gonna have a dynamic ministry because he ain't got to worry about her cheating and worry about him cheating because they're gonna be taking care of business back in that back bedroom doing communion daily. You hear me? You women being stupid and shit, trying to be so goddamn deep, and you send. One thing about me, when I pastored, I never traveled by myself because I knew I had a previous problem laying pipe to these women. So a lot of people would see me in the meetings and think I was by myself. If my musician wasn't with me, my wife was back at the room. Because I knew as a young man, I had history. I got bored easy. And if I'm sitting there thinking and something set me off, and then the devil always going to give you a reward in the middle of your trauma, and he's going to send the finest thing you've been daydreaming about in the midst of your situation, and you're going to be there jumping up and down on something and have a goddamn baby. I'm telling you, or a disease, or embarrassment. So I know me. And I practice what? Preventive maintenance. Come on now. Can you talk to me? Somebody learned something. Thank you for repeating that. Somebody learned something. You know what I mean? So when you got something to say, you just say it. And it don't matter what the message is saying, listen to the message. And the message is stop y'all's bullshit. Quit all this goddamn lying and all this confusion and then gaslighting people, trying to make them look like troublemakers and trying to make them look like they heretics and they crazy and they reprobate. Y'all reprobate. Because the Bible say if you know to do good and you don't do it, that's sin. And sin can't enter into heaven. Because why? The wages of sin is death. Don't worry about my lifestyle. Worry about yours, right? Because y'all the ones that got the credentials to do what you're supposed to be doing and you ain't doing it. You turning your head, letting the saints drop dead in sin. And then don't want to have no accountability. Y'all can rob people, rape people, talk shit about people, talk crazy about people, dishonor people's families, disrespect their kids, gaslight them, sit there, apostolic preachers talking to Kojic folk, and then you let people sit in your damn living room and lie and say they rape your daughters, gaslight them, and then you be behind the scene acting so goddamn scared, but y'all bishops and shit. Yeah, I'm talking about you, David. I'm bringing you back. I tell you, it's going to come back around your ass, too. Y'all sit around here, disrespect your goddamn dad. I'm going to talk about all y'all weird ass motherfuckers. You disrespect your dad. Your dad damn chief apostle. Your dad run around here retired and you run around here thinking y'all got it going on. And, you get motherfuckers that try to invest time and energy in you and give you good information. You still want to be a hoe, a pimp, a down low, and all this other shit. And y'all all crying, y'all love each other so much, and y'all backstabbing. How are you the black sheep and you still paying goddamn rent and you a bishop and you got 15 goddamn cars in your driveway? Tell me that. And y'all supposed to be the holiest people in the goddamn world, the apostolic folk. Tell me that, mister. I ain't gonna say your last name because I done aired you out a couple times already in the last year. I'm just gonna let you know. Y'all all fake as fuck. Y'all fake as hell. You got a dysfunctional organization and y'all let motherfucking slick ass con artist motherfuckers come in there and y'all lay hands on them. And a small ass organization is pretty much over with. And then y'all want to sit back and just be flashing money and got your dad surrounded by a house full of goddamn goons. It's the chief apostle. And y'all sit and disrespect him and shit like that. Y'all ain't got no goddamn honor. Y'all motherfuckers is hirelings and clout chasers. Y'all ain't about no gospel. Y'all about pimps. And then you get these women in your church fighting over you for some cock that ain't even yours. You know, because while you giving them cock, you giving your asshole to somebody. You know, then you got your brothers that sit around and they laugh at you. And I'm telling you, you the black sheep and everybody making you look stupid and you want to sit back like you so goddamn deep. You keep your dumb ass on over there, you know. But don't let me run into your ex-wife. Because if I run into your ex-wife, I want to get that paperwork on your ass on how she walked in and caught you getting fucked by that man while you was married. And you been out of prison. Most men have been out of prison like that and it's freaks. You know, they like men real good. And you like them. You know what I mean? So go ahead and like them. Keep being dumb as hell. Keep sitting over there, you know, doing your hoop triggers and you know, letting your dad go around here and have people laughing at him and shit. And you sitting there wanting everybody to feel sorry for you and play with your balls and all kind of shit, and then play like you so goddamn busy and you ain't got nothing but about 5 or 10 women. And as soon as your dad closes your eyes, your church gonna be closed. So I'm telling you right now, and I told you for the last 8 years now, because it's December, so this is 8 years. I told you for 8 years, when your dad passed away, you're gonna see how much support you got from your goddamn brother. Your sister gone now, that was your protection. Your mom gone. You know, and your dad depended on you to protect him and help him. You could have got a whole bunch of shit, but you so scared of your goddamn brothers, and you older. And they treat you like shit, and you preach bearing all of them. You preach bearing all of them, and they treat you like a piece of shit, and you too busy worrying about scrambling up breadcrumbs and motherfucking dusty ass pussy. Yeah, okay. And hang around someone's fat ass, and he out here schizophrenic, crazy as hell, drunk, and all you preachers that be embracing that dumb motherfucker, y'all sitting there covering for his ass, covering people like Stanley Wood and goddamn Sumlin and goddamn David Sanders and goddamn, you know, all these other crooked ass motherfuckers in the goddamn city. And y'all sit back talking about, and then Stanley Wood gonna leave me I ain't heard from his dumb ass since. He gonna leave me a motherfucking message in my box talking about I stole from him. How am I gonna steal and you ain't got shit? You was sitting in the goddamn house with busted out windows and a dope fiend, and you still ain't saying shit to me. And I called the people you rent from. So that goes to show you how stupid them people over there are on Brittenell, letting you rent from them, and you out here popping pills. You out here popping goddamn pills, buying pills, and some of the other street folks you talking to, and you calling me talking about you a goddamn street nigga, Stanley Benson Wood, and you walk around looking just like your mama with balls and a penis. Now, you sit there and talk all this strong shit. I ain't done with you. You know what I mean? I tried to get my name back. Motherfucker, you older than me. You've been preaching, playing for Matty Moss Clark and everybody. But I bet you right goddamn now, if I call Karen Clark Shear and ask me, do you know Stanley Wood, they'll tell me fuck no. Now, you about 100 years old, been preaching, building a cathedral for 150 motherfucking years, Stanley Wood, and you over on Brittenell renting. And your daughter and your wife ain't got no goddamn respect for you. You around because you are optional to everybody, because you are the washed up musician that could have been, but all you want to do is do dope because you have an addiction problem. And if that's alleged, go sue me. You might be clean from the last live I did. But the last time I checked, you was a pillhead. And you was a dope fiend at Travis Rest, and you a dope fiend now. And I called goddamn Draper. Draper act like he didn't want to do shit about it. And let his dumb ass go over there, and y'all sit there and this is Columbus, Ohio. Okay? And you in Marion, Gregory Draper, and then you got motherfucking, y'all make fun of people and do all this weird shit, and y'all so goddamn deep. Wasn't about 20, 30 years ago, y'all Baptist folks wasn't even believing in bishops and speaking in tongues and shit. Now everybody goddamn bishop in the Baptist church in Columbus, Ohio. Jerome Ross, goddamn Donald Washington, Draper, all you traditional Baptist motherfuckers now, all y'all goddamn is bishops. And y'all wasn't even believing in it. Because when Luther first came through the city with that full gospel shit, all y'all motherfuckers trying to blackball Luther. And everybody know Luther was slick as hell. He was fucking everything and everybody, especially that little young minister girl that used to be over there. I forget that girl's name, was fucking Luther over there. Her last name began with an F. Carolyn Jones know her. I call Carolyn Jones. Y'all know who she was, because Carolyn, you know, remember, and Carolyn wasn't even coded. While she walked around these goddamn missionary license, she was over there up Luther's ass, getting dicked down by Luther and David Sanders at that time, and that other motherfucker, because she was living out there. She had just split up with Mickey, and she was living out there off of Livingston, I think, in an apartment, because David was go over there fucking her, and she's fucking this other dude, and this and that. So you can tell me, Carolyn, because you ain't never been stable. Your mom always took care of them goddamn kids. You know, you opportunist too. You sitting up there following William's ass. I still ain't heard William clap back and said no shit to me either. You know what I'm saying? And none of them other hoes that was over at his church. The ones that's left, you know. The other ones, they over there with Stephanie, where they need to be. Stephanie got some class. And Stephanie ain't kissing nobody's ass either. Stephanie said, fuck y'all, went out there and got her damn by them white folks. And she doing her damn thing. Stephanie always been the breadwinner. William always been around sneaking around directing choirs and shit. That's all they use him for. Because you ain't got no revelation. If you had a revelation, your church still be full. At least your dad was the hype man. He kept the motherfucker full. You can't even keep it full because you don't want to listen to nobody. You so goddamn arrogant and cute. Want to walk around looking like a goddamn fashion statement. You know, all you feminine motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. You, James Willis, that motherfucker in Dayton, Scapa, what the fuck his name is, under Kimbrough. I met him, Scarce. That goddamn national man down there in Dayton, his fat ass, Kevin Beeman. All y'all feminine motherfuckers. Nobody give a damn what y'all talking about. You know what I mean? And y'all can't never bait me because Kevin Beeman, you done talked to me a couple times on goddamn phone. You know, trying to talk some shit, defending goddamn Kimbrough and the motherfucker. I don't give a fuck about Kimbrough, you and nobody else, motherfucker. Because at the end of the day, all y'all gonna bust hell wide open because y'all's life don't match up with what the fuck y'all doing behind closed doors. Now clap back at me, motherfucker. You, Kevin Beeman down there in Dayton, and that other motherfucker too that was sick that long ago. You clap back at me too. And Kimbrough, you go and get some goddamn ball. I got my name back now. Now when I call your goddamn name, and I got a problem with you. I got a real big motherfucking problem with you. Chucky, I ain't heard from your ass either. Lisa Rogers, I ain't heard from your dumb ass either. You a school teacher. You ain't got no goddamn respect for nobody. You know, and I respect your dad. That's why I really stayed off of your motherfucking ass, Lisa. And I don't even know you, but I know I know your husband. I know your husband arrogant as hell, and he, you know, whatever. But I tell you one goddamn thing, Belma Rogers, you right where you need to be in somebody's convalescent home. You need to sit the fuck down and learn how to have a better attitude. So you reap what you sow. You can't go out and be raising hell and be jealous because you didn't even like Mother Mary. You talked about Mother Mary Ellen like a dog. I know your history, Belma. You wouldn't even been district missionary if this certain other person would have got it. But Mother Mary, you know, she had to go against the grain. And then a lot of you pastors didn't like Mother Meredith. One of the reasons y'all dealt with Mother Meredith, and Mother Meredith was the greatest to ever do it in the state of Ohio. Because she was paying y'all. Oh, y'all didn't think I knew about that? I wasn't even ordained then. I knew about that. Mother Meredith was paying y'all to cooperate with her because y'all didn't give a fuck about Mother Meredith. And a lot of y'all didn't even like Hezekiah. Y'all was jealous of Hezekiah because y'all knew Hezekiah wasn't even saved when he got to goddamn church. He was a drunk. When Douglas died, they put Hezekiah through there just like they did William and all these other sons of the church that ain't qualified to do shit. William is a barber and a choir director. He's not even a musician. He's a preacher by default because he didn't want the goddamn church. Don't say you did, William, because you didn't. You didn't want that church until you almost knew that Philip was going to get that goddamn church. And then Robin was going to beat the fuck out of your wife. And you too, probably. You don't think I don't be knowing about shit. I be knowing about all the shit. But I just be trying to give y'all, you know, years to come to y'all senses and make up and do right by me. You know, and I give you credit where it's due, but you want to stay away from me because of what? I talk too much? Oh, y'all lie too much, though. You know what I mean? Y'all lie too goddamn much. Quit trying to be pretty and try to help the city. You know what I mean? So don't act like you didn't know. I just watched your mom's funeral the other day, Jew. I just watched your goddamn funeral. And y'all let that goddamn Roger Harrison sit up there and y'all doing these goddamn praise breaks. Stephanie looking at you upside your goddamn head like you crazy. And you up there dancing. And, you know, like you got a skirt on right there in the front of the goddamn church. And Stephanie looking over at you like, what the fuck? Yeah. And Roger always sing that song and it'd be all right. And y'all up in the choir screaming, hollering, yelling and shit. But one thing about it, me and Jewel made amends before she left up out of here. Me and Jewel made amends right there in Warren, Ohio. Her and Marveline Madison walked me down. Marveline was on oxygen and Jewel was on a walker or cane or something. And we was walking down that damn hallway and me and them had a long, me and those two women had a long conversation. And they were enlightened after the fact from hearing me on why, you know, they was kind of giving me the backlash like they were. And I respect that. You know, I never had nothing against Marveline. Matter of fact, when Marveline was big as hell, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I used to love watching her jiggle that big ass booty while she was doing praise and worship. Whenever I would get up there and watch her do praise, and she would take them in. Don't, oh God, whoo Lord, honey, she would take them in. You hear me? She take them in. Marveline would, but she give Hezekiah some kickback though. And one thing about it, Marveline, you ain't gonna talk no shit to Brother Mattis. Period. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to do it. And back then, Kenny wasn't no slouch either. He ain't no slouch now, but Kenny was a hellraiser. Kenny would tell you what the fuck he felt, and still will. He old now. I mean, Kenny used to be cool. Kenny introduced me to a lot of shit. Kenny used to alter my suits. Burtis was doing them first, and then when Kenny found out that me and Mickey was cool, I got the green light, and then Kenny started doing my shit. I started wearing French cuffs in my pants. I used to wear straight leg pants. Then I started doing the French cuff. And Kenny would do them. Yep. Mickey always gave me opportunity. I ain't got nothing against Mickey, but Mickey always told me, he said, "Friend, bro, one thing about it, you be knowing the truth, man, but your mom can get you in a whole bunch of trouble." Mickey used to tell me that. Mickey always kept it real with me. Mickey used to ride me around that goddamn Benz, had that music playing. I would go with Mickey over to Chip Davis' place on the corner of Hudson and the record shop. Mickey was the baddest promoter in this goddamn city. Mickey was. Mickey Madison was the Michael Madison. I ain't gonna call him Mickey. I'm gonna call him by his government name. Michael. My nigga. I don't give a fuck what nobody said about him. I love Mickey and I miss Mickey. You know, Mickey did a lot of shit. Mickey did a lot of shit for this city. And y'all don't give Mickey the props he did. Mickey was the baddest motherfucking drummer in this goddamn. Don't tell me. I'm gonna tell you some more history how cool me and Mickey were. I still consider us close. I haven't talked to Mickey in a long time. I know he's not coaching anymore. I think he's Methodist or something. But Carolyn, his ex-wife, was my sister, supposedly. Carolyn was over at Luther's church as the youth director. And there was one of the girls over there that knew I was into music and wanted me to help with the meals course. Now, at this time, I didn't know that Byron Potts was related to was related to Mickey. However they're related, but they related some kind of way through marriage or something. And they had a men's day coming up and they didn't have no choir director. Mickey Madison it was told to me that Mickey did. I don't know if he did it, but I was told that Mickey was the one that made it possible for me to be over that males course for that, I think it was a month or two. And because I preached there one Sunday through the help of John Coates and Mickey Madison. John Coates did do that. And John Coates told me, he said, "Fran, bro, now I know you be over there dancing. Do not go over to them Baptist church and dance, man." Woo, Lord. I forget who the musician was over there that morning. And they had me preach over there on a youth day. That was in 1990. Let me see. I was wearing finger waves back then. That's how long ago it was. And I had on a dark green suit with a lime tie, paisley. It was a real big tie. And on some green ostrich shoes with some I don't know if the sock was cognac. The tie was cognac and green, I think. And I think the sock was cognac. And I think the shoes was cognac, green, and lime, something. But I was clean that day. I went there and thought I was goddamn, I don't know who the hell I was, but man, I went there and sang and preached. And from that day forward, Luther always was cool with me. But Luther was one of them educational type of intellectual motherfuckers. And Luther wanted me to go to his school of the prophets. I ain't going to no goddamn school. I only like school. Me and Luther would talk. Luther would ask me questions. Luther would be shocked because Luther was shocked like, "Man, how you got this limited education, man? You know all this stuff." And I didn't reveal a lot of shit that I knew. But they knew who my uncle was. And even though my uncle wasn't, one of those fiery foot stomping preachers, my uncle come up under old man Mitchell on a pilgrim. So my uncle knew the word and he was an excellent teacher. Uncle Ed, he really was. He had a lot of other shit going on, but he was a good pastor. I will say that. Until it came to his family. He didn't pastor his family. He pastored the church people that was members of the church. The family did what the fuck they wanted to do. His son was stealing out the baskets. Uh, the other motherfucker was stealing the shit. And they blamed it on Donnie and Uncle Richard. And Uncle Richard didn't even go to church. But Uncle Richard, they always be out there in the front smoking cigarettes. Leon, Richard, and Donnie out there in the front of the church smoking cigarettes. And y'all accused him of stealing money. As a matter of fact, I was there the day that Leon. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you how deep this shit is. And this is why I never understood why my cousin Christina quit talking with her kids be acting crazy toward me. But Leon set Donnie up and stole all Christina's money out of her purse one goddamn Sunday and blamed it on Donnie. And Christina was running around there acting crazy, cussing everybody out and shit. And I went to Connie and told Connie that was Leon. And then Connie told me, little boy, don't do that. Yep. What I did. I used to go to Uncle Ed. That's what I told you. That's why one reason I left. Leon was stealing from the church, doing a whole bunch of shit. And I was telling Uncle Ed, I wasn't putting up with it. And that crooked ass man was trying to have an affair with my goddamn aunt, Shepherd, right there in my uncle's church. And I told my uncle, if you don't make that man get up out that pulpit, I'm leaving you. And he sat in that pulpit, my uncle, for a little while. Then I found out that the deacon over there, the karate man, was actually the brother of Payne over there at Good Shepherd. It was a Good Shepherd or Good Samaritan, one of them churches. My uncle's deacon brother was the pastor over there. And I went to him and told him, because that's what Leon's problem was. Leon wanted to be the head deacon, and he was pretty much running the church when Uncle Ed wasn't around, disrespecting that old man, Payne. And then when Uncle Ed would find out, they didn't do nothing to Leon. They let Leon do what the fuck they wanted to do, because Leon knew too much. And that's why they did it. And most of the people in the family is older like that. That's how it worked. You know, Leon knew too much. He had dirt on his daddy. He kept dirty secrets for his dad. Okay, he used to be a woman beater. He used to beat the fuck out of Aunt Connie. Yeah, I bet y'all know that. Where do you think Leon got it from? Leon used to beat the fuck out of Yvonne. I ain't never known Christine to get beat up by nobody. Christine wasn't putting up with that shit. I ain't never known Christine do nothing bad. Christine always been kind of quiet. I mean, she will get with your motherfucking ass. Christine, Chris Wood, I call her Chris. We never call her Christina. We call her Chris. Every time we would go in their house after I got older, because I didn't even meet Uncle Ed officially until Thanksgiving. That was after my grandma died. That's the first time I ever went in his house. After my grandma died in '85. Connie invited us up to Thanksgiving because my mom had a history with Uncle Basie's and them people down there in Virginia somehow. And that Connie, she didn't like Connie. And Connie definitely didn't like my mom. Even though she played like she did, Connie didn't like my mom. And nobody liked Phyllis. And I didn't find out until Benty told me the reason why Carolyn Pryor didn't like my mom. Said that Phyllis stole some shit from her. First I ever heard it, because I never known my mom to steal. Except one time we went to Rinks. It was Rinks or something. No, not Rinks, was in Springfield. We was in Columbia, went to Woolworth somewhere, and she stole her jacket. And when she got in that church, she gave the jacket back. And my mom was into weed and having a lot of sex. That's my mom was into, and manipulating people. Sadistic shit. Beating, abusing. She did that shit before she got married to my stepdad. You know, beating on me and shit. Because she would tell me, since I turned 6 years old, she told me you look just like your dad. And that's when the narrative was starting that he was dead. And all these men would come around and pick me up. These little African men and shit would pick me up, and I thought they was count. I know who they were. I'll be riding around with them, listening to Sesame Street. You know, and everybody knew I was a kid. I was a real big Sesame Street electric company man. And all these African men my mom would be dealing with. The one that was praying with Larry Burke would take me up to his house, and I'll spend the night. And I'll be over his house, and they'd be back there fucking. And then when she get back to the house get cleaned up, I'll get my ass beat. And then here come Tiny and Kenny. Tiny would come first because she was fucking Tiny first, then Kenny. And then when, because she was fucking Tiny when he was with that white girl. And the white girl was going to leave when Tiny set herself on fire. He lived right down the street from us because my mom was the one that called 911, I think it was. Called Uncle Hoppy and told him. Because it was right down the street. They're doing Danoon and Joyce. We lived at Joyce, 2684 Joyce, apartment A. And Tiny lived, Tiny, I think his real name was Tony. Fred, something, I don't know what Tiny's real name was. But Phyllis was fucking them. And those were her nephews. So y'all say I'm crazy, and I wake up and I see my mom laying beside a motherfucker supposed to be my cousin, and he fucking shot up. I'm supposed to be, and y'all church folks know all that shit because I reported to Linda Schakowsky and a whole bunch of people. And this before my mom got into the church. And one of the saints sent Linda to me, but what Phyllis didn't know is Linda Schakowsky was taking notes and reporting it back to the ministry, and the ministry didn't do shit. And y'all knew I was getting abused because Phyllis was coming to y'all, and two of y'all, man, I ain't gonna name y'all, was beating the fuck out of me, coming to my house, beating the fuck out of me. And then when y'all passed her on to George, Wilbur McKeithen knew that motherfucker was beating the fuck out of me on Rice Street. While he teaching me how to play chess in front of Wilbur and making me pancakes, fatting me all up and shit. As soon as Wilbur leave and go to work, Greg start his shit. And my mom had me with that man hours at a time in Springfield over on Rice Street. While he abusing me, beating the fuck out of me and shit. And then manipulating me, pretty much letting me know then, your name gonna be changed and all this shit. And you tell me, oh, you my son, I love you. And then you tell my mom and my motherfucking face in front of Adele Butler's blind ass that he was jealous of me. I put a butcher knife on him and charged at him right there at 320 Indiana Avenue. And all hell broke loose. And that's when Adele pretty much made it known that she didn't really like me. So Phyllis, if I'm lying, tell the goddamn truth. Tell the goddamn truth, Trina. You knew Phyllis was fucking the goddamn Tiny. And then because she was covering for you when you was fucking around sneaking out the goddamn door at 15, 16, when I was stayed a weekend over there and you was fucking Jerome, Kenny's brother. Yeah. I'm telling all y'all shit today. And this ain't no goddamn, I ain't getting paid for it. So I can't be doing it for no goddamn clout. Because I don't have millions of followers and shit like that. I'm just telling y'all some goddamn facts. Because y'all spread narratives about me and lied and said I was a troublemaker and doing all this shit. And y'all been behind it. Y'all been trying to take me out of here since I was born. Daryl Hopkins, we shared the same goddamn crib, Daryl. June 3rd. We shared the same goddamn crib, baby crib. You was stealing from me as a baby. You know you was, you fat motherfucker. You was stealing from your own mama. When she died, you was cashing her credit cards and shit in. Hey, once y'all, since Michael, you got the goddamn executor, because your hands was in that crooked ass shit too, I found out. But since you so goddamn, your hands are so clean, Michael, since you was the executor of the estate, and you waited almost a year before you gave me the shit that I was, because that's the whole problem was, and Jerry left me in the will, and, I didn't want to be in the will, but she originally wanted to leave everything to me because she always told me I was the little son she never had. Daryl was supposed to have been the baby, but she knew that Daryl had a bad demon in him. Y'all tried to kill me in 1976, right before we went to Springfield and joined that church. And y'all had that goddamn carbon monoxide problem over there. Right after Uncle Hoppy had fixed that goddamn side door and closed that door off over there. And y'all fuck around and left me in that goddamn house. Everybody was gone. You already knew that your dad and Phillips was going around junking because they used to go around to Dr. Haley's house. And, well, we ain't going to get in all that because I don't want to implement my uncle on some shit. But you know what y'all used to do with Dr. Haley and them? It wasn't you, Daryl, and Trina, and Michael. It was me and Phyllis that was with Hoppy, Uncle Hoppy. And when Phyllis was with Uncle Hoppy, I was. And the only time you was with your daddy, Daryl, is when I left and went to Springfield. Because your daddy looked out and protected me because he knew your mama was sadistic. Your aunt, your Phyllis Fifi was sadistic and shit. So these little shorts and shit I was doing for a few years, and when my name was fucked up, and I didn't really have the courage to really say shit because I was trying to suppress all this goddamn trauma. Well, the secret out now, and it's over. You can't go to jail for this shit I'm talking about now because the statute for sexual crime on a child like that is only 20 years statute of limitation. 25 for I think it's under 16. So I already know, and that's why I know these preachers and shit are doing shit. I'm very strategic in what I do. It's like y'all strategic in what y'all do. You strategically mastermind the plan to have me dead. And then what's so crazy, you confront Phyllis Daryl Hopkins and say, Fifi, this is Dion, because I used to call me Dee when I was a little boy. Grandma called me Dino. Dee, y'all do all this shit. The D and that's fucked up. Fifi, y'all made him turn him out like that. Y'all knew the shit, but y'all rather see me suffer, because quote unquote, Daryl, you was born with a silver spoon in your motherfucking mouth. The only ones that really know anything about the streets on the prior side of the goddamn family is me, Junior, and Trina. Michael ain't about that life. He's a kung fu man, listen to music. Michael wasn't no fighter. Michael was out there fucking, being a playboy, washing cars and making glasses and shit. Michael ain't no street nigga. And his son, but that ain't through Michael's DNA. That's his goddamn wife. Crazy ass motherfucker from Mansfield. That's probably in his genetics. Darrell. And y'all used him. Don't get me talking about that whole situation with you, Trina, Sherry, and that house y'all left them up here before y'all got the house built over there in Whitehall. Motherfucker, don't start no shit. Cause I have some motherfuckers make some phone call and do some forensic audits on your goddamn finances to figure out how you was able to do all that shit. Because Aunt Jerry was giving Michael a whole bunch of goddamn money when y'all lived over there on Villa, whatever, Villa Rista, whatever that fuck you all lived at, and that pool table was in the living room. When Darrell was disabled and paralyzed, and Trina was supposed to be in his home health aide, and his baby mom was in there fucking the shit out of that boy while he was paralyzed, and that girl got pregnant. You don't play with me. You keep playing these goddamn games if you want to, and keep talking shit and hiding, don't say shit, and you out here hanging with James Coleman, and you know he a crook, and I'm your flesh and blood, and I ain't never done a guy, and you my big cousin, supposed to be my brother, and you ain't never defended me and spoke. Oh, and Coleman, I ain't forgot. I did get a hold of the bank, and I got that paperwork with you and that goddamn guy. But I ain't gonna worry about that. That's that paternal shit. I'm done with it. But I do got the documents where y'all changed my name, used me when y'all came to Troy when I was homeless. Remember? And I took you up to that bank, the friend associate, the vice president of Fifth Third in Troy, and got y'all signed up to get that paperwork started. Before I knew about all that split shit with all that, yeah. Then y'all go out and blackball me. And I get my name back now. I'm getting phone calls. Once y'all come back, people invite me to goddamn. I ain't even a Shriner. There was a Shriner. I was a past in the command, nice temper, and a past master in the Blue House. You know what I mean? I ain't never been no Shriner, but y'all now everybody from both sides emailing me, invite me back. I don't want to come back, and I don't have nothing personally against y'all. I accept the fact that y'all didn't understand, why I was calling out corruption and shit, and the institution's supposed to be so upright. And I decided to do what I need to do and go, and I ain't got no problem with that. But I'm still keeping my light, and I'm still going to do what I need to do, and I'm still waiting, for God to continue to give me the completeness in my life and wholeness, and I want that one day, but I don't need motherfuckers to come around here dragging me and harassing me, and then when I come on live and talk about y'all's goddamn illegal activity, then y'all want to start blocking and talking crazy. Don't run now. You know what I mean? Because y'all wasn't running when y'all was lying. Because y'all thought I was going to die when I had that last fallout. And it took a white man. Took a white man to press the issue to have people call the paramedics because the hospital's whole plan was to let me fucking die. And they wouldn't even let the ambulance on the property. And they was trying to ship me away. And my in-laws and everybody, not one of you white bastards and you you mixed bitches, not one of y'all came and gave me one goddamn hospital visit. When your doping ass mentality and all this shit go on in your family, y'all need a goddamn preacher to bury your motherfucking doping ass. Y'all call me. But when I was sick and dying and your dumbass sister didn't even have enough courage to come to y'all and tell you what the fuck was going on with me, and I died 3 motherfucking times, and I ain't supposed to be mad that you assholes, especially the ones that had my medical records, ran with narratives I was a dope fiend. And y'all let motherfuckers essay me as a kid. Y'all let motherfuckers steal from me. My own mother stole from me when I lived with her, when I came from Cincinnati. The people in Cincinnati was stealing from me. That the motherfucking fake ass bishop down there on 20th Street hooked me up with. And then then the sister down there, Doreen, act like she don't know what the fuck going on. I can have all y'all in jail. You, Shamika, and goddamn Flora. Her name Flora Lear now. And we wasn't no goddamn relationship. I was staying there because I was trying to get the fuck away because I had dope fiends that was in my house that was trying to get me evicted. And I had to leave the goddamn city. But I had to create a narrative because I was trying to protect my goddamn child and her baby daddy. Trying to get him a place to stay when I was raising my grandchildren. Then you get a stupid white bitch out here in Groveport that act like she doing so. I had them grandkids first. And you took them from me. And you set up with an old crippled, deranged bastard. And you can't even live off his goddamn death benefits. So y'all want to, gaslight and have people calling me, trying to set me up, your content, naked. I don't give a fuck. Because that ain't got a goddamn thing to do with y'all's fraud. Hear me? So you can talk about what I look at, what I flip through, and what I'm requesting. You can do all that shit. But let's talk about this goddamn fraud, the shit that can put you in jail. Because I ain't doing nothing illegal. You hear what I'm saying? So don't be creating narratives, you know what I'm talking about, and lying and shit like that. And then y'all all supposed to be so goddamn street. Where's your code at? Where's your code at? How you run with Bloods and settle down with a Crip? You dumb bitch. You stupid. And you supposed to be so goddamn street. I'm talking about that damn Mike Tyson bitch over there on Jenkins. How you run with Bloods and shit, and you conniving in and out of jail, strung on fentanyl and doing dope, and then you goddamn thug all of a sudden. How the fuck that work out? Yeah, enjoy all this goddamn time. You gonna get that. It's gonna be an all day thing for y'all today. Yeah. How you do that? Is that street code? Ain't no Bloods and Crips, no goddamn Columbus. There's no real one. And if you are, you came from another goddamn city. Because Columbus ain't no gang banging city. There's neighborhood sets and shit like that. But Columbus ain't set up like that. Fuck what you heard. It ain't. And that's why I was trying to tell Pee-wee. The motherfuckers I was rocking with, a lot of them niggas, they really about that life. When you right here throwing up gang signs and you wearing flags and all this kind of shit, nigga, you don't know nothing about the streets. You know what I mean? And you can call me outdated where the fuck you want. I ran with some heavy motherfuckers. I just didn't choose to get quote unquote blessed in and do it. But, you know, if I was in the street, I'd be riding with the six. Because anything outside of that is demonic, in my opinion. Because the pentagram, 5-point star, all this shit like that, I'm not knocking no sets. Don't be, you know, call me trying to blow my goddamn house up and shit. I'm just telling you the fact. If you go look at black magic and all that shit, that pentagon, all that shit, that's 5-point star. 6-point star, that's Star of David. That's close to the Bible. And I'm going to rock with what's close to my heart. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I did. I mean, and I never claimed shit. But that's what I rocked with. You know? Music, any kind of hip hop and shit I listen to. Southern hip hop. You know, most of the music I listen to, you know, most of the music made by GD. That's just the mentality that I listened to. Shit like that, you know what I mean? It ain't about no gang banging street shit, but that's just what kind of people I roll with. You know what I mean? I'm always current with, you know, I'm always, you know, up on it with the street, you know, and try to stay up, you know, above, because you got to be careful what you say, how you say it, because this new generation, they ain't got no order. They don't give a fuck about that. And a lot of shit they represent, they don't know what the fuck they talking about. They only doing it because what they seen on the video on TV. A lot of these young niggas don't know what the fuck they talking about. Couldn't give you no lit, no shit. And some have been blessed in, jumped in, beat in, got all kind of rank, and don't know a goddamn thing. And then when you go out and get locked up and this motherfucker check your motherfucking ass, you get fucked up. That's how it works. But that's the system. That's how they want you to do. And then if you got too much juice, they're going to put you in the whole motherfucking tank with a whole motherfucking people from an opposition. Then you're going to be fucked up. So I'll be telling you preachers out here be talking about what y'all doing, and you got that goddamn prophet up there that's fucking around with George Carter's daughter. You got that motherfucker talking about he be clenching his fist. Always talking about fighting and shit. This weird to me. You the prophet, man of God, and you cussing folk out. You cuss me out personally. Right, taking up for that motherfucker, and you don't even know him. You just getting into the family. So if he cutthroat me after 40 years, what the fuck you think he's going to do to you? What do you think he's going to do to you? You think you exempt, motherfucker? If he didn't talk to his own goddamn brother Greg for years, but when he felt like it because Greg was an option, you think he's going to talk to your motherfucking ass? If he dog his own goddamn friend Mark Lamont Perry, what the fuck you think he's going to do to you? You think you're going to be closer because you fucking his daughter? Huh? Or was, or alleged, whatever the fuck you was doing? You think that's going to help you out? Huh? The guy up in Cincinnati was married to his goddamn daughter. He didn't treat him with no goddamn respect. So if he was married to the daughter and got kids with him and got a grandkid with grandchildren, you think you're going to get some goddamn leverage? And you an outsider too from the goddamn Sabbath Day church? And in the church you go to, that church had a history. If it weren't for Callaway, that church wouldn't even be there. You know, and I ain't trying to knock nobody, but don't make me start talking about Bishop Henry and a lot of them other guys down up in there. Don't let me start talking, because I know I'm from that area. So you can't talk to me. You from Philly. See, I know Callaway. I know Bishop Henry. I know Ronald Diamond. I know all them niggas. I know Daniel Cook. You see what I'm talking about? I know y'all motherfuckers. Y'all sit back and act like, you know, and Daniel wasn't no goddamn, Daniel would have been the same shit he was doing 20, 30 years ago. His dad just happened to die. And he blew up and got some goddamn money. Daniel's still like the same goddamn Daniel he was when he was running with Sumlin's ass. Sumlin's weird ass. So, you know, just because you overseer, apostle, bishop now, Daniel Cook, and you play the hell of an organ, who gives a fuck? Anybody to support demonic witchcraft and essay and all that bullshit, y'all on the way to a devil's hell. And I'm telling you to your goddamn face, that's where you're going. If you got a problem with it, all you got to do is, get your life right with God. You ain't got to call me because I ain't got a God, a heaven, or hell to put you in. But what y'all ain't going to do under my watch is sit back in here and be victimizing people, gaslighting people, lying on people, getting all these likes, shares, and clicks and baits, and y'all are here doing all this weird ass shit. And then when the next man die, as soon as they get in the ground, even before they die, y'all run them down the ground thinking they're dead. But as soon as they resurrect, hey Baker, remember you said nothing about that game called Resurrection? Well, goddamn it, you passed 5,000 now on your goddamn short, and I'm gonna do another story on your motherfucking ass too. Pretty goddamn soon. I said, been seeing your sister little inboxes, down in Vegas, Tina. Hope she ain't got no beef. Tina always been cool, but I didn't hang with Tina all like that. I know Melvin Timothy Baker. I know what Valerie told me. I know what Tammy told me. So I don't really give a damn. And Tammy's ass, I don't understand how the hell Tammy and that motherfucking Leslie Sanders, I don't understand how the fuck y'all can sit back and talk about Melvin so goddamn bad, but y'all don't motherfuckers don't want to speak up. Why? You kin to David Hand, or you a member of that jurisdiction, Tammy? That's what I want to know. And you the one told me that he was beating your motherfucking ass. And I didn't even know you. I knew of you because, when I used to go up there and do shit for Melvin and shit like that, you was married to him. Because Melvin was trying to get me to violate your sister. And I told your sister that I liked her, Julie. And Julie Hobson, I never disrespected her, never kissed her, held her hand, nothing. I used to send her money all the time for that little boy when her baby dad was in and out of jail and in jail. When she needed money for her cousin's church that she was a member of, her anniversary and shit, I was sending her money for her, paying her light, gas, putting gas in her car, buying her kids shit buying that little boy shit for his birthday. I only seen him one time. And that's when I preached for Elijah Thomas over at Faith Clinic. And she used to come by herself after that, come all the way down from where she lived at out in Beaver Falls and come up there to Clarendon, to McLean's church or Elijah Thomas. I was preaching at them church a whole lot. Then I started preaching for the ordination man. Then I started preaching for the other man. I was preaching all over Pennsylvania. And then that district missionary, I forget her name, but they dogged her too. Her daddy was a superintendent. And one of them dudes went down there and disrupted that church. And then you got that crook down there, and the cripple man came from this under the cripple boy that came up under this up in Youngstown. He in Akron now. He up there with Neville's Turner. He used to beat the fuck out of that motherfucker. But he's so goddamn saved now. I forget his first name. Turner. He up here with Neville's. But I remember Turner crippled ass. Turner, I'm calling him crippled because he liked the back door too. And people talked about him like he was a dog because he walk around stinking and shit, nasty, dirty, fingernails dirty and shit, and you walk around all cool. And then you get in, but he's an opportunist because he spent years in that senior citizen place right there out there on near Stelzer Road, that white building over there on. I used to live around the corner there. Me and my ex-wife lived on Ash Point, and his church is right around the corner in that senior citizen place by Job and Family Service on that's Stelzer Road. No, that ain't Stelzer Road. That's Cassidy. Where the fuck that street is? Becoming an A. That made my name be Cassidy, but you know what I'm talking about. You don't play no games with me, but I know Turner too. I remember Turner beating that girl's ass. Y'all pumped up Lamar Scales. Lamar Scales was another one. He was a con artist. He was beating the fuck out of his wife. And he was nasty as hell. Couldn't keep himself clean, stunk all the goddamn time. Y'all know how he was. But because he can sing and got talent, y'all let that shit slide. And y'all didn't even give him no props. But y'all buried him like he was a goddamn pope. I'm going to see what y'all do when Stanley Wood closes his eye. How y'all bury him. I just want to really see. You talk all this shit, and he must got some issue because you ain't done. I don't know nothing that you've done for Selena Woods ministry, your mama. And the McGowan took that shit and then took it to the next level, and you ain't doing shit. Uncle Johnny, I still call him Uncle Johnny because I love John. But your dumb ass, you cut though too, man. And I don't give a damn about it. You hang with David Sanders and all them. All y'all got some addiction problems. which I personally don't give a fuck. Y'all can stay doping. I don't know if David still used it or not, but he got doping. What Judge Matter say, doping ways. And in my opinion, if you a doping and you hang with doping with dogs, you get fleas, and you guilty by association. I told David, and I told his brother Michael, David's a clown. David got so much goddamn talent. He can out preach any of his goddamn brothers, JoJo and Joel, Johnny and Joel. And you want to walk around here and look dumb as hell. But that's on you. You either gonna be a preacher or a pimp or a thug or a down low nigga, whichever one you want to be. You better pick one, because you're gonna fuck around and miss the whole goddamn mark, and you're gonna be like one of these, like them prophets up in that room when they wrote Tinkle Tinkle Mini My Faces. And my cheap is messed up, but you know what it meant. You're gonna be weighed and found wanting. And y'all keep playing. That song they sing at Grand Avenue. And you get Bert Clarence playing the ground, way by the word and found wanting. Where he's singing rounds, in church of God. Janie used to teach that to the young people. We used to sing the song called "Row Your Boat," and Janie taught us how to do it in rounds. And the tenor, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, merrily. And the church come in, doom, doom, doom. Also, doom, doom, doom. Soprano, doom, doom. It was bad. So one thing about it, 709, we going back. We doing a whole bunch. I might go 4 hours today. I don't know how long this live going to be, but it's going to be a while until I'm goddamn tired talking. I ain't watched no TV yet. In the living room, I was laying in the bed, and Cat's laying here down. I don't know where Gizmo is, but she was laying here curled up in the ball, But this helps release me. If you notice more, I come on here unless I'm pissed. I don't be too much be raising my voice and hollering. I'll be laughing and have me a little nip, keep calm, listen to some music, and leave it like that. But when you keep coming after people, victimizing folk, and you ain't got no legal recourse, and you ain't giving people due process, motherfucker, I don't give a fuck if you talking about you tired, if you tired of hearing it, the repeat. Don't fuck with people, and you ain't got to worry about it. Okay? So, Phyllis, while you out talking about people, talk about how when you used to call me and my wife, my current wife, when y'all used to have your ass pinned up in the corner, and you was threatening to throw scalding hot water on him. And I'm the one that brought him back over to the house because I didn't want him to be away from his goddamn mama. But you didn't want them kids around me because you didn't want me to teach them shit, and you didn't want them to know about you. Well, now they know, but I don't want nothing to do with them now. You know what I mean? And the state going to investigate that goddamn your daughter and your granddaughter over there, not Naomi, but that goddamn Rennie, and they're going to get to the bottom of how you as a parent, knowing your daughter has some challenges, and you allow a state employee to SA her, because that's what it is. If you working for a state employee, that's a conflict of interest, and y'all having intimate relations and have a disabled child, and y'all all living in the same goddamn house, all 40 of y'all over there in New Carlisle, Lakeview Drive, y'all over there living and lying and conniving, and you hiding money from that bank, National Bank, right down the street from your goddamn house. And you out buying used cars and letting people think your cars and shit breaking down, giving vans and shit away, doing all this shit, making people think you broke, and you know goddamn well you ain't broke. Because when Gregory died in Tecumseh High School, I'm ashamed of y'all. I'm ashamed of New Carlisle and Tecumseh High School because my brother died and y'all raised her all that money, and my mother had life insurance. And I was told to shut my goddamn mouth. And I didn't say nothing because I thought she was really struggling. And they had car washing on every goddamn corner. And before my brother's body hit the morgue, the school had already paid for everything. Let me tell you what I know. And the community did too. And Phyllis was sitting down there living like a hot pig. And y'all sit back there, and I believe she had him killed because she knew goddamn well that none of us could swim. Only ones could swim is John, Kobe, and London, all the boys. Me, Keita, and Gregory, we couldn't swim. I still can't swim. And he drowned, and she let him go. And Kobe, the reason why he fucked up in the head, because Kobe told him don't go. And Phillips let him go anyway. He was a minor. So you obligated to protect your goddamn child. You let that boy die. And then you dishonor me at the goddamn gravesite because the coach wants to give me shit and honor my brother because they know that Gregory was talking to the counselors because he was sneaking talking to me on the AOL desk because you was keeping them kids, my own siblings, away from me. And then having Angie, and I'm not knocking Angie, so Angie don't get mad, but you was talking to Angie, and Alyssa, my daughter, was coming back and forth from New Carlisle because Angie was bringing her, and you knew. And then when I would get there, you would tell me, oh, your daughter just left. And you couldn't even bring the peace for me to see my goddamn child. You dysfunctional as fuck. And, you know, and I get people getting mad talking about don't call your mom a bitch and honor your mother and father. Well, when your mom go out and try to have you killed and replace you because you know too goddamn much, then she is a bitch. And she need to be in goddamn prison. And you motherfuckers over at 709 East Grand Avenue that protected her and enabled her and caused me a lot of trauma. I hope the fuck a lot of shit gets uncovered about y'all and y'all motherfuckers go to jail. Or they shut y'all's motherfucking church down. Because I'm an adult now. I'm not that little 8, 9-year-old that y'all can beat around and fucking abuse and leave scars and shit on me, you know, and fucking beat me till I'm bleeding and shit like that and think that shit is funny. And then have people hold me down while y'all beating on me and shit. Y'all saying that didn't happen? Greg Fanbro, y'all wouldn't hold me down and white Phillips would take extension cords and bust me on my back and bust my legs and my butt and shit open and then call me home from school? Call me out of school and tell me I'm having a problem. But while you call me out of school, you put me in these same institutions that Faith Jones was putting her crazy ass kids in, telling them people I'm crazy. And then you manipulate the system and tell them people that I'm saved now at 10, 11 years old. I'm saved now. And I'm telling the people I don't want to go home. Same place Sean Jones was in. Adele Butler, allegedly Robert Corlew, I don't know. Dale Ford for sure. Want to have me shipped out and then had me in and out of the DH, trying to get me shipped away. Don't tell me what the fuck you didn't do. I didn't start having motherfucking problems with no school, no motherfucking thing until you married that goddamn pedophile bastard. And my family didn't even protect me. And then my kids listen to their motherfucking mama hate me so much. Your own goddamn dad died 3 times, and all y'all want is some motherfucking money. But your mom done robbed you and manipulated the system and shit, and y'all out there protect. That's fine. That's some hurtful ass shit. And then a motherfucker go out here and go cuckoo crazy and do some bodily harm to somebody, and y'all want to throw a motherfucker in an institution. It's P. Diddy, Donald Trump, Epstein type shit. And then y'all want to blackmail me. So George Carter, I hope 40 years was worth it, you dumb bastard. I'm calling you a bastard this morning. So that son you got that was selling dope and shit, tell that motherfucker to get some goddamn balls to confront you. Because you the bishop now. When I start putting this shit up about Mark, you best bet that sure I'm going to drag your stupid ass over here on 40 Crown Avenue. And quit having your people from your goddamn church call my goddamn phone. I offered you a peace offering, try to talk to you, try to talk to your wife. Y'all motherfuckers want to be grand and everything now. Do what the fuck you been doing. And then when something happened and the National Church come in and shut your shit down, then you're going to be the stupid motherfucker. When you be just like some of these other bishops and your wife can't control what the fuck going on when they bury you. You think you got it now. You didn't talk to your own goddamn blood brother. And then you sold your goddamn best friend's widow off to your goddamn brother. And then you got the pastor of the church trying to cover up for the goddamn brother like he's doing such a goddamn good job doing good in the church. You ain't doing too goddamn good. And you got that goddamn woman up there trauma. And I'm showing you a picture that I got of him and his goddamn wife. And his wife will soon come off my goddamn thing there once I get these other pictures developed for Mark. And she'll get the fuck up off of there. Because you ought to be ashamed of your goddamn self as much as I went to bat for you. And I don't give a fuck how you feel. I got you all kind of information, told you who to link up with in National Church so you can keep your husband's legacy going on and you get disrespected. Yeah, you need to go get married. And then you take up for Steve Harvey because you go to school with Steve Harvey and them wife or whoever. Fuck Steve Harvey. What's Steve Harvey doing for black folk? Besides selling his own goddamn daughter out and having her going out doing all this goddamn shit. Ain't nobody scared of Steve Harvey's big lip bald head ass. I don't give a fuck about Steve Harvey and no other Carvey. Motherfucker, and I damn sure don't give a fuck about you with your two-faced ass the way you did your goddamn deceased husband. So you can kiss my whole ass with your educated ass. And I fought for you to get every dime that you can get to keep his name going. Just stupid ass. And I'm calling you stupid. And I hope you call me. You still talk to my wife. Some of y'all motherfuckers in the house still talk to my goddamn wife. If y'all do, talk to her. Don't call me. Because you call me, I'm going to totally disrespect your motherfucking ass. Renee Perry. Renee Brown. I ain't going to call you Perry because you ain't even married to the motherfucker. You ain't even married no more. I ain't going to mean to call Mark motherfucker. I'm so goddamn mad at your weird ass motherfucker. And I'm calling you out. I sure am. you know, your red bone ass. You out here doing all this weird ass shit. And then y'all sitting back and y'all know the goddamn information and y'all still cover for a motherfucker. You better hope and pray that motherfucker was ratified. And you better hope that I don't get my goddamn mind right or I don't become a con artist and get myself and play like I'm getting saved and come back to the Church of God in Christ. Because I didn't get kicked out. I can get reinstated. All I got to do is do what y'all do, fake it up a little bit and come up in that motherfucker and get my credentials back and then start bringing some goddamn charges on you motherfuckers. That's all I got to do. And I ain't got to do it in Ohio. I can go anywhere because I left in good standing. Y'all motherfuckers is the one lying and conniving and shit, robbing and stealing, doing all this undercover shit. I ain't do a goddamn thing to y'all. Y'all was doing SA and robbing folks long before J.O. Patterson died. This is 2025. This shit's still going on. Y'all ain't done nothing different. So how the fuck am I the problem? And all these other folks y'all blackball and done left. In the Church of God in Christ, PAW, CAW, SBC, ABC through Z, Church of God, Church of Living God, Cool JC, Bible Way, all that shit. And you don't hear about the shit until motherfucker about to die. And then when they die, then y'all get up there and do these homegoings, have these praise breaks, and then 15 days later you go to codeyourabuse.com, codeyourjustice.net, and you hear about the motherfucker that just died and what the fuck they was doing 20 years before. And the wife done knew about it, ain't said shit. I'm gone. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna keep going on, and I'm gonna really say some hurtful shit to somebody in this church, and I don't want to do that. I promise I wouldn't disrespect church people, but the ones I call out, y'all not saved. You know what I'm saying? But Kerry Charles, Day of Reckoning is here for your punk ass. So you, whatever you feel like you need to do, go ahead and call Tracy. And your nephew, he's a military man now. Have a Trey call. Trey can verify a lot of information. He knows his mom is, he's terrified of Tracy. And he ain't gonna say too goddamn much. Because he's so goddamn timid. I don't even know how he fucking made it to the goddamn army. He should have stayed at the post office. I don't know how the fuck he did it. But I'm proud of you for what you did. You know what I mean? But if your mom wasn't so goddamn manipulative, your daddy would have been there for you. And your daddy would have done a whole bunch of shit. But your mom want to play these goddamn control games and act like she a goddamn dime. And bitch, you ain't even 3 cents because your attitude is funky as fuck. Bitch, you passed Funky Cole Medina. You just as bad as Serena. That rhyme, I ain't even mean to. Go back to the zoo, bitch. And I'm just telling you that. All right? Thank you. My children, I love you to death. I don't hate you. I want you to know that. Don't hate you. You know what I mean? But you keep taking up for your crooked ass mammies. I'm gonna tell you, y'all motherfucking ass, y'all gonna be set up for a whole bunch of goddamn disappointment. Because at the end of the day, your mom died tomorrow. That stupid motherfucker up in Mansfield, where the fuck he wasn't gonna get your goddamn kids. And all you gotta do is get balls. You know, all you gotta do is grow some balls. You ain't got no balls. Get some goddamn balls and stand up to your motherfucking mom and say, look, you ain't gonna keep doing this. You can like whatever y'all got going on, I don't know. I mean, I get little emails and shit from people. It ain't you, so I don't want you to be thinking that that's ain't on the kids is calling me, but it's people that's connected to you is calling me, telling me what you've been doing to my goddamn kids, and it ain't right. And now that I know facts, I've been knowing shit about it. I've been staying off your ass trying to be respectful. You hear what I'm saying? But you can't have my kids calling no motherfucking dad, you know what I'm talking about, and then disrespecting me and then mistreat my goddamn grand. That's still my flesh and blood in the day. I don't give a fuck how mad I am. But you're going to end up in jail. I'm telling you. Because I might get off this phone right now and get off this live and call the goddamn place to have you investigated right goddamn now. Because you know you manipulating took them kids. Because them kids was in my goddamn house. Nayana and Buddy was in my goddamn house. When they was born, they came to my house. So don't tell me about no goddamn deadbeat what the fuck I ain't done. And Mr. Kerry Charles, where the fuck was you at when my grandkids and shit was sick and shit? Since you so goddamn... yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So you take your dumb ass to court, file your paperwork, call your vice president of NBC. You hear what I'm saying? And then I give you the juice the fuck I got. And I bet you if Tony called my motherfucking phone or you call my goddamn phone, I bet you shut the fuck up real quick. Because all the paperwork I got in regards to this scandal and shit that was going on, and y'all pushing all these other narratives through the goddamn news, and I was out there sleeping and taking showers in goddamn pallet gas station, staying with some fan bros, locking me out the house, giving me curfews and shit where I couldn't even stay out past 9 o'clock. And I'm in trauma and shit. You better go suck a dick. That's what the fuck you better do. And leave me the fuck alone. And this explicit as fuck this morning. I'm mad as fuck. And you hillbillies that got them birthdays coming up, that middle boy. Yeah, I got a surprise for your motherfucking birthday, you dumb bastard. I got a surprise for you, Clifford Eldon Best the third. I got a surprise for you. Your best bet to go ahead and go under incognito and change your goddamn name, because I'm gonna ride your ass on your birthday. And I'm gonna talk about your son, both of them, and then the one you deserted too, Josh. And I don't even know that motherfucker. But I'm gonna talk about him too. And I'm gonna talk about Jody's ass. And I'm gonna talk about Danny's dope fiend ass too. I'm still waiting for your hillbilly ass Danny on that shit you was talking, because I've been in Chillicothe a couple times. Now I will put my motherfucking hands on you, because you a pedophile and a motherfucking murderer. So what the fuck you talking about? And you didn't kill nobody because you was, doing some gangster shit. You was raping a motherfucking kid, and then you goddamn killed him because you got caught. Just open fire on the motherfucker. So you talking about all this goddamn street shit, nigga? That ain't street shit. You hear me? Because when I was gonna whoop your ass for putting your hand on your goddamn girlfriend that goddamn day up in your house, you didn't have a goddamn thing to say, right? And you came in your motherfucking mother-in-law's house there in Circleville, took her where the fuck was that? You didn't have a goddamn thing to say. You were your dope fiend girlfriend. You hear what I'm saying? So all y'all motherfuckers that be connected together and looped up together, fuck y'all. OD, motherfucker. Okay? OD. Or come see D. I'll set you free real goddamn quick and put you right behind them goddamn bars. Quit out scamming, quit being a goddamn pedophile, and quit out, mess with all these goddamn boys. Clifford, quit trying to fuck all your nephews and your goddamn cousins, goddamn girlfriends and shit. Leave Timmy Bowles' girlfriend alone, and that's your baby mama's nephew, and you was fucking around with what that girl named Evelyn E, whatever the fuck that girl named, that motorcycle boy that was it used to come over y'all's house all the time. The kids always had lice and shit. You was fucking around with that girl, and you was fucking around with goddamn Megan. And that's why he was trying to throw. I tried to tell Jeff dumbass, but Jeff didn't want to hear me. You up there trying to fuck around with Megan and shit, and Megan, you know it. And I called and talked to you, Jeff. And I told you, Jeff, what the fuck PB and them was doing, and you got quiet. You supposed to came by and saw us. Remember? When y'all staying in that hotel and I found your sister was paying for your goddamn hotel room while y'all out there doing drugs and shit, and you pimping your goddamn wife out, Megan, got her doing content and selling her pussy and shit like that. Yeah, you motherfucker. I ain't never done nothing to you but give you respect. You know what I mean? So, your son was a street nigga. And your son, he's a good kid. And I, instill some good things in his head, but y'all in that toxic ass shit, and y'all just do weird ass shit. Y'all into that cousin swapping and messing with minor shit. You see what I'm saying? And then you wonder why my wife so got y'all. I ain't the one to control y'all motherfuckers control it. You see what I'm talking about? Because y'all want her in that same incestuous, nasty ass bullshit y'all be wrapped in. Anybody in that shit? I ain't. Y'all in that shit. That's documented. You got kids with that girl. You should have been in jail for statutory rape. And that goddamn Cassie, you running your goddamn mouth all the time. Did John know you was fucking around with Pee Wee? Did your husband know you was fucking around with Pee Wee? Did y'all lie and say you don't, and you know you did? Because don't tell me I didn't walk in one time and catch you getting dressed and people sitting right there on the couch, and I walked out and went and asked my wife about it. Because I didn't know at the time that Casey was married. And I asked Pee Wee. Pee Wee denied it for years. And then Pee Wee finally told me that he did fuck that girl. How the fuck y'all not even blood relatives, and she buying you expensive ass Buckeye shit. Expensive ass shit. Whatever. I don't give a fuck what y'all do. You can't do no drugs at 484. You know what I mean? Since you said I wanted to sue you, and I could have sued you for illegal eviction. I don't want to sue you. I want you in jail for crimes. Real crimes. I don't want you doing misdemeanor charges. I want you to do these federal crimes, that tax fraud and shit that you and Crystal May Pace and you and your goddamn other kin folks that was claiming them goddamn kids. Chrissy's kids, because Chrissy couldn't claim with so many. She only got 6 kids, so she couldn't claim so many. So Carrie was doing this shit, and PB was claiming them, and a couple of you other motherfuckers was claiming them too. Your name already been turned in. Matter of fact, let me get that paper, because I think Carrie think I'm playing with her. So I can go and give her address out. See, when you tell lies and shit, you can't control the narrative on how you get this wisdom back. I'll show you the clergy record. Y'all got the clergy record with your name and shit on it. Cause you live I think you live on a street called HOWTH, something like that. Right? Can I Winchester? Yeah, that's you. Yep. So I don't bluff, baby. I told Miss Eastep, so Miss Eastep ain't giving you the messages, and that's your third party messenger. Then she need to go ahead and stick with my brother-in-law and do what she's gonna do with him and my niece Destiny. That's what y'all gonna do. But y'all need to be leaving Pee Wee alone, because he was stealing from you and shit. Dwayne, I told you about that. You won't believe me, and you told me to slap the shit out of him a couple times too, right? And y'all don't know shit. You ain't got no shit. Since you didn't know shit, I'm gonna tell what I know. Yep. Tell what I know. Only one safe is Nana and her family. including her baby daddy. And Reese. Because Reese don't know half the shit. I'm not going to get involved in that. Reese is a smart guy. I think Reese is smart enough to know what the fuck Smurf Tiffany doing. Tiffany Lynn Best. I think that Brittany's kids old enough to know what the fuck she doing. You know? And that motherfucker that drive the trucks, man, brother, I wish you would have left her alone because you're going to end up in some fucked up shit because them bitches is toxic. They toxic as fuck, and you know, you ain't going to do nothing but get a shakedown after a while, I'm trying to tell you. Because you can't get the money from Chris, right? Sorrel, so she's going to get it from you. So whatever you do, don't be dumb and marry. Don't do that. And don't tell her all your financial business because she got a get back for your ass. I'm telling you, Chris, you ain't got to listen to me. She got some comeback for your motherfucking ass because she's still resentful from the time you fucking left and was making all that money going back and forth to Mansfield and shit. I'm telling you right now. Brittany clocking information on your motherfucking ass. You think you getting away and you getting all that good fat pussy and all that shit? Yeah, you go ahead and get it. And then when she get pregnant again and keep building and building, see them other kids about to be grown. She got them twins and she got that little boy and that little girl now. And she gonna need to have that money to take care of that. Because after a while, Brittany gonna be feeling like somebody else ain't gonna be wanting to do no goddamn work. And you gonna be stuck with the goddamn bill. Unless they change these goddamn laws. So you better use your goddamn sense. And if y'all not married, living in the same house, you better go down to child support and set your own child support up. Let them go ahead and get your income and all that kind of shit and get that shit in place. Because you're gonna be a broke motherfucker. I'm telling you, brother. And I don't even know you. You know, I had a running with you at one time because Brittany had misled you on some shit that I found out later about, and that's why she got mad and moved out. But other than that, I don't know you. I know some of your people, but I don't know you. And I'm just telling you that the bitch is crazy, and you fuck around and keep having these kids with these weird ass bitch, and you gonna fuck around, and you might even get set up by one of them kids. You never know. You never motherfucking know, bro. You better get the fuck away from there, and you better run like 911 because that bitch is toxic. Or you better write her grandma Ruby. She still taught your uncles and Pratts. They need to talk to you and find out what the fuck going on, what her dad did to her, what Ruby did to her, what her aunts. Well, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know them Pratts. I don't know nothing about them. All I know is the bitch is deranged and she's crazy, and you stuck with her, and you got them goddamn kids, and you stuck with her for the rest of your goddamn life, whether you live with her, love her, have more kids or not. As long as you got kids with that woman, you gonna be in some kind of contact with her for the rest of your motherfucking life, and that's going to be a goddamn headache. Now, if a motherfucker across you, and when she was getting her ass beat out there, when she lived out there on, when her and Sammy was living out there on goddamn Main Street, and I went out there with Mabel's retarded ass, and went out there to fuck that boy up, I was out there to fuck them up, and Mabel played like she was so goddamn hardcore and shit, and me and my wife went out there to tear some shit up, and we went out there. Brittany probably be dead. Sammy probably be dead. Them kids have probably been dead. And the goddamn Mabel probably been knocked the fuck out too. What Mabel do? About 2 months later, she go out and get strung out. See, y'all all crazy. Y'all like all that toxic shit. See what I'm talking about? Ain't nothing wrong with if you're going to do the drugs, you can afford it, but y'all can't afford the shit. Y'all got to go out and rob, steal, and backdoor motherfuckers just to keep a habit up. If you can't afford it, dope, don't get on it. You can't afford fentanyl, don't get on it. You can't afford cocaine, don't get on it. You know what I mean? Do what you can afford. Do what you like, how you like. Just know there's a consequence. And when you got your kids running around playing with loaded guns and shit, and you under, your aunts them got custody of your kids, and your kids ain't supposed to be over there, Tiffany, and y'all doing all this illegal shit. So you should have been careful running your goddamn mouth, being quiet when you should open your goddamn mouth. But now, you in my crosshair. And your baby's dad is the only one clear because y'all not married. So I ain't got a right to talk about none of them. Right? That's not your husband. You got baby dad. They ain't done nothing to me. You did. And then you probably went back and said some weird shit to them, which I don't really give a fuck. But if you did, well, now I'm sure they got access to phones and shit, and they can see what the fuck y'all be up to. And they can see that. And I got told your mama about your aunt. If the bitch wanted to get with me, all she had to do is tell me. I'd have tore her ass up. And I told my wife that. But I didn't want her. I don't want her. I just flirted with her. I used to slap her on the ass when I first met her. Remember, I slapped her on the ass, you, Brittany, all y'all. You know what I mean? And I squeezed Chris's ass too. My wife's ass, but it wasn't no sexual shit. It was like, little girl, sister-in-law, and she slapped shot me here. All right, what's going on with her bougie ass? You know what I mean? And then as soon as my wife go to prison, we at the goddamn your baby reveal, and she rubbing her titties and shit on my goddamn back like she want like her pussy hot. And her husband standing right there looking dumb as hell. Not that I was worried about him doing nothing, because I fuck the bitch in front of his goddamn wife. I don't. That's how mean I can be. I don't really give a fuck. But like I told you, if I would ever fuck you, trust and believe, Little wouldn't be nowhere in the equation. His kids wouldn't either. Little and his kids would have been the fuck out of there, with the exception of J-Bo, Karan, and the goddamn let me see, J-Bo, Karan. What's that other one? Oh, J-Bo and Karan. Christopher, all right, but I think he's a little confused. I think them kids want to get the fuck away from y'all, and y'all want to keep them kids hostage because they know that y'all using them. You know, them kids are a product to y'all. They're money makers. And as long as they're underage, y'all can make money off of them, right? But bitch, if you was so goddamn smart, you wouldn't let your husband talk you out of leaving college. You got a goddamn fucking high school diploma. You graduated from college, right? Or where you started, and Little made you quit. Because you want to keep you pregnant and barefooted and keep you all big and shit thinking that nobody like it. But some people like big ass sexy women, and you're not ugly, Chrissy. You just retarded for dealing with a low life motherfucker like Little. And if his mammy and them never helped him, because if his mammy was helping, you would never have to be living off of your mama. So I ain't never known his mama, and I know his mama because his mama was good friends with one of the church mothers of a church I used to go to. So I know Miss Pace. And I would never dishonor her because she ain't never done nothing to me. But it got to be something funny that her and his own mom and them ain't helping him, and his brothers, Curtis and the mother, ain't helping him. But y'all the same motherfuckers. Matter of fact, yeah, let me go ahead and air you the fuck out. Yeah, bitch, since you ain't got nothing to say, wasn't I in your goddamn kitchen when Little's nephew was trying to fuck with Tiffany, talking shit about he wanted some pussy and shit, and Little, you standing right there, and I'm looking at you like, ain't that you? Right? So yeah, I hope Reese do get that information. And I hope he grab his goddamn kids and leave you, you sneaky bitch. Because that motherfucker, that's your goddamn, it's supposed to be like your cousin. So either you fucked him before or he felt comfortable enough where he can say some slick ass shit like that in front of me thinking I was going to forget. I just remembered that. Right there in your goddamn, last time I was in Chrissy's house off there off of a goddamn, matter of fact, at the same goddamn night my car broke down, and Little was feeding I brought them kids back because I took them all the way out south and brought them back, and I got a flat tire. And Little was out there feeding me all that shit about my wife. I was gonna whoop his ass that next motherfucking day, and PB called the police. No, you called the police, Chris. Yeah. That's the same. Yeah. And I'm trying to put that shit together now. That's probably why y'all was trying to throw my motherfucking ass in jail that goddamn night, Pee Wee. Because that night, that goddamn Little's brother's son was talking shit to Smurf because Smurf called me Dion, and she ain't never called me by my first name, in front of Brittany's fat ass. And Brittany had that Brittany was over there sitting at the goddamn table. Chrissy was sitting over on the other side, and Smurf was sitting right there at that goddamn table. And Little's brother's son was sitting there talking about some goddamn pussy, fucking Tiffany. Loud as hell right there in the goddamn kitchen, because I was standing right there behind some goddamn Dwayne and Beth had just about to walk through the goddamn door. We was all standing in the goddamn kitchen. Sure the fuck was. So you may be a hoe. And you talking about don't involve. So I didn't try to involve you, but since I'm just thought about that. Yeah, and I've been good to you, and you probably been feeding Reese's head with a whole bunch of lies and shit, but I'm going to let his eyes be open today. Because you, bitch, you the same motherfucker when I was on Marcia that brought that stinky bitch when you got out of prison to my motherfucking house, ate that stinking ass pussy in my motherfucking house, and we put you and her out because our whole house was smelling like goddamn fish. And then the next night you brought that light-skinned motherfucker over there and came in talking about, let's have a fuck contest and see who can scream the loudest. You remember that? And I didn't even want to be down with that shit. Big old light-skinned yellow nigga came up. My mother stayed at my goddamn house. And I didn't know he stayed the night. When I woke up, I put both of y'all motherfuckers out. And you had a red guy because you came over there. You used to come over there with Brandy. And 2 weeks later, Brandy moved in. Brandy moved in because she was going through some shit. And that motherfucking Matt started putting his hands on her. And I put him the fuck out of there. And I called his punk ass brother, her punk ass brother, and told him, man, this motherfucker doing is your brother. And y'all talk all this shit about how hard y'all are. That weird as hell. Y'all ain't got no clap back, no nothing. Y'all a whole bunch of talk, lying and shit, thinking y'all can change some goddamn narrative. Change that narrative, bitch. Change that narrative. And then when the kinship call your aunt, matter of fact, I'm gonna get the screenshot of this goddamn email just in case Beth didn't send it to y'all, and I'll give you a screenshot of what the fuck the kinship sent me. And then Christian, you can explain the kinship with your documentation that you say you have and everything, and you can explain to them your story. Okay? And you can talk to the lady that run that program and plead your goddamn case. And then I'm sure once the shit, when you get that phone call, oh, Nanny gonna have some fire on her motherfucking ass because you was getting child support, all kind of shit, and you was lying telling Nanny you wasn't getting no goddamn money. And you know you was. And you was getting money from Smurf. You was getting money for that little boy too. Blowing it. And you can't say you wasn't, because I personally took my goddamn money and bought Fat Daddy clothes over there and shoes. And the next time I came over there, your motherfucking son was over there wearing dialing, whatever the fuck his name is, that ignorant little motherfucker. He was over there, the one that was pushing on him, and I snatched his ass up by his goddamn neck, called him a devil. And your husband tried to like, talking real low, of course, because he wasn't gonna come up to me talking stupid, because I consider that boy my grandchild. And I watched him push that motherfucker down. Sue wasn't even dead yet. Right in Sue's house, he pushed him down off the goddamn couch. And Fat Daddy fell and hit the floor. If Danielle was there, Danielle would have beat the fuck out of that boy. Yeah, and I go back and tell Nan and shit, and y'all motherfuckers want to, try to get Nana's ear and get her all, like she doing the best she motherfucking can. At least the one thing about it, she can cook. Nana can cook. She take care of some goddamn kids. She just got sidetracked on some shit, and y'all still doing the same shit because you on fentanyl. I don't know nothing about no pills. I know you on fentanyl, bitch, and I know you a manager of an establishment. I hope you lose your goddamn job. And I hope Chrissy drag your motherfucking ass down. That's your mama. You know what I mean? That's your mammy. Chrissy, you got a name tattoo on your goddamn arm, bitch. Tell her to give you your goddamn $5,000 back that she ran up in your goddamn water and electric. And then tell her to get your uncle Bud back into the goddamn family. And y'all quit spreading all these goddamn lies throughout y'all's family and tell the motherfucking truth. Quit going out telling Billy Labestein, whatever the fuck his name is, lies, Pee Wee, and you know goddamn well them motherfuckers tricked you out of your goddamn TV and air conditioner your mama had, and you was trying to fuck his wife. Now tell me you wasn't. Tell me you wasn't, Pee Wee, and I don't give a fuck who you are. You goddamn wrong because you told me you was gonna try to fuck her. She'd come over there when Billy wasn't there to get shit from you, and she had no bra and shit on, and you be sitting there talking all kind of shit, and I would get up and leave. I thought she was cool and everything like that, but you's a hoe, Pee Wee, because you so goddamn weird. You couldn't even get a hard on. That's probably why Mabel was fucking around with your brother-in-law or play brother-in-law, and she was out there fucked up on drugs and shit because your motherfucking ass couldn't keep a hard on, and you want to be drunk all the goddamn time drinking beer. So fuck what you talking about, you bum. Happy goddamn birthday. Okay, I gave y'all 2 hours today. I'm over a whole 2 hours and 15 minutes a day. You got about the 20, 30 minutes. But I'm on fire, baby. I'm on fire. It's raining, man. It's raining, baby. And let me get off here because I promised the person I would do that third eye blind short. And but I'm coming back later. I got some footnotes. Everybody I'm dragging today. And I'm gonna do it until my wife get home. I told my wife I'm not gonna be yelling and screaming when she be getting off work, because I'll probably making her nervous. And I'll probably do, because I'm hell on wheels, So that's why we telling y'all, motherfucker. You be careful who you get with, who you link up with, because you don't know who people connected to. You know what I mean? You don't know who people connected to. You don't know what people got going on. And when you get to a point where you can't trust folks, and you got to move like you move. And if they don't want to move, then you got to groove, and show them how to do it, And you tell them, get the fuck out of my life expeditiously as possible. And like the late Stanley Wood used to say, not the late, he will be late soon in the spirit because he's reprobate. But like he used to say, when David dipped his pen into the ink of sincerity, he penned these words. Yeah. You so intellectual. You ain't intellectual when you sober. You know what I mean? It's good you don't drink and smoke cigarettes no more, but you need to leave them goddamn them pills alone because that's heroin synthetic that you doing. And a lot of these pills are getting stepped on and shit. So let's hope one day you don't. Miss Debbie, you better make sure you got some life insurance on his ass, and you better sit and make sure you talk to Stacia and your goddamn granddaughter, and you find out what the fuck going on with him. Because if you don't, And you ain't gonna never bring shame and step on your own self. You know what I mean? And I ain't never had nothing against you, Debbie Wade. I'm just gonna say Wade. I ain't never had nothing against you, First Lady. I will call you First Lady because you ain't done nothing to me. But your husband, he's a bastard, and he ain't about shit. And I told you that. I sent you the information. You ain't even called me back, and you deal with kids. You know. And I've watched you labor with that man and be embarrassed, humiliated for years. Before I met you, I've known Wood for a long time. Wood is connected to my family. He used to go get pills and shit from my uncle and them years ago. So I've been knowing Wood for a while coming in and out of my aunt's house over on Marcia Drive. He know because he always called my aunt by her name, Jerry. So we know who Wood is. Ain't nobody's dumber in this goddamn city. Donald Washington know who Stanley Wood is. Donald Washington got out the gate real quick because if he wouldn't have retired real good, they probably would have got on his ass too because he got a history too. I don't give a fuck about what he talking about. He a military man too. He ought to have a little bit more honor, and should have shut Stanley Wood down a long goddamn time ago, long before Reverend Dowdy died. You should have shut down Stanley Wood. You know what I mean? And Draper, you Archbishop now. Why you so goddamn scared to speak on Stanley Wood? He got some shit on you. And I talked to you on Messenger, but you wouldn't call me, which is fine. But y'all talking about y'all so goddamn, the Baptists, y'all autonomous. Y'all kind of govern y'all's own. Fine, but you Archbishop. That don't make you autonomous. You Archbishop. Ain't no Archbishop in the Baptist church. That's more, different. So you Archbishop Gregory Draper, bring your ass down here to Franklin County and address some shit, because that shit gonna be on your watch. Because what happens if this man OD or something, or he go do some shit over here on Britain now in the middle of a certain flip out on somebody, hurt somebody? Everybody knows Stanley Wood got a temper, and we'll cuss you the fuck out. And you sit back and allow that kind of shit to happen. That's fine. Go ahead and let it happen. You know what I mean? But y'all know he a dope thing, and y'all street niggas out there that selling them and shit, y'all know too. But y'all taking cover that shit up because y'all making some money, right? But if he violate one of your kids, which I don't know him to do nothing like that, I just know he's a known dope thing and download. You know, they say that he had cancer. I don't know if he had cancer or not, but allegedly he was getting his asshole blown out. That's what I was told, and I believe it because Stanley feminine as hell. Yeah, just like his mama with balls in her dick. You do. Jonathan feminine as hell too. Michael Dickerson, all them motherfuckers. And y'all sit there and talk about, and Stanley Wood didn't believe in all that shit. Now you a bishop all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? So I'm done. It's almost been 3 hours. I got to pee real bad. I don't know where my urinal is. My wife probably moved it. Probably moving some shit. She ain't got no business. But anybody born in December, happy birthday. Today's a friend of mine's birthday. I'm not gonna say her name because I don't want to get myself in no goddamn trouble. But today's her birthday. She going on to be with wherever she at in eternity. Shout out to her. You're a dear friend of mine, and I hope that she was there to find peace in her soul when she left out of here. Known that girl for a long time. She was a member of my church, and she's not here no more. This her face just flew across my brain and just kind of touched me there for a minute. And Laura McDowell, you watching this live? I never done nothing to you, baby. And I hope that y'all would keep our friend's memory alive. You know what I mean? Keep our friend's memory alive, man. Destiny and hope you and Kim and them y'all get merged back together, man. Kim Hun, man. Kim was a good girl, man. Y'all come out of the Zolies, man. Y'all need to stick together, really, because that girl, she was a good girl, man. She was a good girl, and y'all good people too. Destiny, I watch you grow up, girl. You're a mama now, and I want you to continue to be responsible. Keep your head up, and know that our friend, she loved us, man. She did. I know she's crazy hell about me, but it just hurt me a little bit. I wouldn't include it in that memorial service, but it's all good. Hey, I want everyone to know that I'm done for right now. I got to pee. Smoke me a couple cigarettes. Is it past noon? Yeah. Have me a nip, and then I might have a flashback and cuss somebody out. I don't know. I feel like it. I really do. I really feel like saying some real crazy shit, but I'm just trying to, it really fucked me up. I don't usually go live like this, but it just really messed me up how people can torture you. You know what I mean? And ain't no worse hurt than family hurt, especially when they're aware of the shit you go through and they sit back and help set you up and backdoor you and shit. and all you do is show them love, and they see the pain, they see the grief, they see the anguish, and then they fuck with you like that. I think that's cool. You know what I mean? Trina, you should have been a madam. But I forgot, bitch, you can't even talk, so you can't get no direction, nobody. You should have been a madam, though. You know. And I wish John. Is John Forrest still living or is he dead? Is your ex-husband, your first husband, dead? Because I know that one husband that I buried, and you try to talk me, tell him, don't be talking about heaven and hell, and you've been flipping out on me ever since then. Groves, who was a fake Mason. He wasn't even a real Mason because he could never produce no goddamn paperwork, no traveling card, nothing. And you buried him in a goddamn ring. Y'all crazy as hell. See, y'all be doing all this weird shit, and these kind of people y'all be burying and shit, and motherfuckers y'all be taking up for. You know what I'm saying? If Trina died today, y'all had that bitch out here buried like Miss Ooey, Miss Sweetie, like she done the greatest thing in the world. Didn't raise her goddamn kids, didn't do nothing but enable PJ, didn't do nothing for her goddamn son. Yeah, and son don't even really want to be bothered with her. You know what I'm saying? Keepy don't be bothered with that motherfucking bitch. And Julie really don't either, because Julie, just like her mama, she thinks she's so goddamn grand that she can't be touched. But I saved her ass a couple times too when she was a kid, when people was about to fuck her little ass up with her big mouth ass. But that's all right, Julie. You keep being stylish, baby, and keep doing your thing. You know what I mean? Keep getting your body licked on and carrying on. You know what I mean? But you act like them goddamn Forrest and Trina Daddy's people, Alonzo and them. You don't act like no goddamn Pryor. You really don't. You arrogant as fuck and you think you so goddamn grand, but then your son's stealing from you. See, you got all that goddamn ghetto weird ass mentality, and the little PJ, that little motherfucker used to be crazy about me too. Little J. Cole is what I call him. The little motherfucker, he cool as hell. Little PJ was Philip. You ran his daddy away. If you didn't like Dick, bitch, you should never stayed with him. You should have went on and got you some coochie with them bulldaggers that you be fucking around with. You know, walk around looking like men. You want to be with a goddamn man, get a goddamn man, bitch. You have one. You got a kid. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you a stud, what the fuck you are. But you know, I remember when I actually do my daughter's hair, I was gonna pay you, bitch. You wouldn't even call me on the motherfucking phone. Right? But you want to clap back, and I will take up and defend Daryl on this one. You want to clap back at Daryl and Michael, and then when your grandma died, and bitch, you just like your mama, you opportunist, and you did everything you could to get from Aunt Jerry, and Aunt Jerry did everything she could from you, because she know you's in self-destruction mode. So talk that shit to somebody who don't know you, Julia Ford, and you goddamn Trina. Y'all talk that shit to somebody that don't know. And that other little wild motherfucking girl y'all had over there that was deep throating people in the goddamn house. That little wild ass girl that moved back and forth to Atlanta stripping and shit. They say Keith was fucking her. I don't know if he was or not. But she was calling you mom and shit. Julie didn't even like her. Little yellow bitch. What her name? She was a stripper or some shit. I don't know what the fuck she was. She ain't tell what that girl's name is. She's called me Uncle D too. I don't know what the fuck happened to her. Y'all got rid of her pretty goddamn quick. Lying on her, pitting on Facebook. She was stinking and shit, talking about her like a dog. And she was a goddamn kid. That's when you live up there in Worthington, Trina. Always Section 8, of course. You know, you graduated from Aqua Green days. Now you're on Section 8. And you 60-some years old. Walking around, can't even hear. Got a whole goddamn beatbox machine on your goddamn head because you've been going out doing crooked shit all your goddamn life. Conning people, stealing from your mama, trying to dig ditches for your brother and them. And I told Michael what you did when he was calling me after they died, and you the main one, drama queen, sitting in front of the door crying and shit like you so goddamn concerned about your mama. You ain't giving a goddamn about nothing. Because everything you bought her, you probably did like the rest of the goddamn family do. Somebody in the family died, you buy something, you want it back. Y'all dumb as hell. Trying to get a goddamn life, or you gonna fuck around and be dead. Because God gonna put judgment on your ass. Daryl, go ahead and get yourself together. Matter of fact, go to your podiatrist and get them athletic feet, get them toes and shit cleaned up, get your diabetes and shit under control. Because remember, the same motherfucker that you ran down like a dog, anytime you was in the hospital, I was there walking off my job, being there for you, sitting there for you while your dumbass wife sitting there buying $1.19 beers, running through your goddamn money, fucking around on you too. Oh, you forgot I wasn't there? I forgot about that when y'all outside my goddamn window. You lived next door to me. And you was hollering at her because she was sneaking talking to her old boyfriend and shit because she ain't got no kids, so she ain't got no baby daddy. But she was your mistress for 20-some years. When you lived off in the gin house over on Mock Road. And you was running Unitra down like a dog. You turn Unitra against me, and I ain't done a goddamn thing, Unitra. And you was fucking around Unitra with Sean, Camara, and everybody else goddamn else. Then you wonder why your kids are so crazy. You had your own son ready to fight his own first cousin on some shit you lied about. See what I'm talking about? So 2376, wherever you at in Whitehall, Trina, and Mike wherever all the fuck you threw is at. Yeah, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. One thing about y'all is you might not get the singe of the fire, but you're gonna be consumed by some goddamn fire. It's gonna be called investigation. And Sherry, you better go and retire if you ain't retired already. I'm gonna make a phone call and go just don't have you investigated. Sherry Hopkins. And Carla, you better hope you get a miraculous healing. James Coleman, Mr. 33rd, you better hope you have a goddamn divine healing. And I don't call on your motherfucking ass for you retire if you ain't retired yet, Carla. Because you know what I mean? Your husband, and you stupid as hell, you doing all that money laundering and shit with James Coleman. And I want you to send me there cease and desist James Coleman for the $500,000 and shit that you be sending people that's fake as fuck you put off the internet. Get you a goddamn real lawyer. Okay? Get your goddamn get some of the men you got around there and teach them, to be upright like you first started teaching me. And then you flipped the script and went on dark mode. And you run around with my goddamn blood relative and they see you out here scamming and shit. That lets me know you're a scam artist. So I might just even also talk about when you helped set that house on fire, Michael, for your mom and for that insurance fraud. We'll talk about that. You did that right after my grandma died too, because that's when they sent all them letters out having forging people's names and shit. Ed and Geraldine stealing my grandma's property. Don't get me to drag y'all because I know the information. And you and Trina know it for real. Daryl might not know but bits and pieces from over here. But I do know Daryl know about the fraud shit y'all did when Irene, people changing their driver's license and shit, going all these different names and shit, faking signing documents and shit like that, and then all the shit. And then Daryl thought he was slick. A lot of the shit that y'all was getting from Irene's house, Daryl was pitting all the shit and bringing it over to my house. But see, I was getting rid of the shit because I knew that shit was, I didn't know exactly where it came from, but I was getting information that it was going back and forth to Virginia, visiting Irene. And Irene was getting them all the information and shit, and they started getting all the missing pieces to the puzzle about where all that missing property was at. Yep. So rest on that, Trina Lane. And I hope you sleep well, Michael, knowing all the scams you cut up for your mom and dad. Stepdad, rather, because Henry Hopkins ain't your daddy. Your dad's name is Lonzo. You was adopted. So you ought to know the feeling about being adopted. And you was adopted illegal too. Yeah. Y'all was adopted illegally too. You want to know the truth about that shit? Since you know so goddamn much. Your mom wasn't divorced from your dad when she started fucking around with him. With Henry Hopkins. Your mom was fucking around with, your mom wasn't divorced from Lonzo when she was fucking around with Henry Hopkins. Your mom was working at motherfucking Mount Carmel. All y'all was. My mom and her mom. My mom was a dietary aide. I don't know what Aunt Jerry was doing. And Jerry ended up getting Uncle Hoppy and she went to Children's Hospital. Working at Children's Hospital. That's when I got attacked by that goddamn dog. Yeah, y'all remember that? Oh, I guess you don't. But you do know about Kenny and Tiny. Because Tiny was fucking my mom, and then Tiny started fucking with them white girls. That white girl lived right there on Danoon and Joyce. We lived right there at Joyce, right there by the alley. We used to walk through there going to school. I went to Linden. We walked there going to IGA right there on, right there at the IGA. Ain't IGA no more. Right where the bank is right there. Yeah. Yeah. That goddamn Tiny lived right there because I used to be friends with this little white girl named Timmy. And I had a friend, his name was Freddie. He used to play with Squirrel, a little white boy. And that white boy was friends with that white girl's people, and they used to be down there, and Phyllis was just got through fucking Tiny the week before. And Tiny went down there was living with that white girl. He was beating the shit out of her too. He wasn't touching Phyllis though. But Tiny was the one at the motherfucking door when my dad came. I was 5 years old. And Tiny was the motherfucker was at the goddamn door and told my dad that he was my goddamn dad. So you tell me that how y'all didn't know who my dad was then. Well, I can't ask Andrea, she did, but she knew him. Because when I took him over there with just me and my dad, she called him by his name, and I hadn't even took him over there yet. So I know that he had been around there. You know what I mean? And they all called my dad Charles. And he called my dad Benny. My dad's name is Benny. People in Columbus call him Coach Charles. Carol know my dad. You know my dad ain't no joke. And you played in my dad's face like you was trying to mess with my dad. Don't talk about that either, Carolyn. But we can really get into that. You had a crush on my goddamn dad. You like old men. And you had a crush on my dad. My dad wouldn't mess with your raggedy mouth ass. Your breath always stunk anyway. You was just a sister to me. I never was sexually attracted to none of you motherfuckers. But you was trying to come on my dad because my dad was coaching. You was doing some sports shit. I think one of your kids was playing basketball or something. And you would see my dad at the games and shit when my dad was coaching for the school system. And then you fuck around and was doing some weird ass shit. Right? But I'm such a brother. When your mom, where that hoodie at? I got you with your mom's name and shit on it. Right? I ain't heard from you since then. except when you was begging me to help you get a car. I saw your son, I told you 4 times. And he was driving a goddamn brand new truck, it looked like. Now, I don't talk to Julius. He blocked me for whatever reason. But that's your weird ass stalker. You didn't even like Julius, your son-in-law. See, you weird, Carolyn. You weird as hell. And you mistreated all of them. You mistreated Dionysia and you mistreated that goddamn Kirsten. And I don't give a fuck how they try to camouflage and lie for you and say they didn't. I was in your house most of this goddamn time. Especially when you was married to Mickey. Because you had all the young folks in your house. And your house was smelling like after Mickey left. And you left, you moved in another place and your house smelled like goddamn Fritos and Cheetos and shit. You had my goddaughter over there, Calista, the 2 twins, the twin girls. You had goddamn, because the other white girl, I don't know what her name is. She go by some stage name now. Helen's oldest daughter, she ain't never fucked with y'all. She always been her own. That's why I never really clapped at her about shit. Cormella, whatever her fucking new name is. Stephanie, that's her government name. She ain't fuck with y'all. Dougie and David and them didn't either. David and them, they was in their own goddamn world. I never saw little Doug, David fuck with none of y'all. Or Stephanie. It was always Quilicia, them twins, goddamn Donisha, and Kirsten. Over in that goddamn house over there. And then the other young folk that was over there in that goddamn basement, hanging out. There was another one over there too. That used to hang around that, what's that big tall boy name used to work at the bank? What's that boy name he used to work at the bank and had that stepdaughter? Her fast ass. I forget that man's name. He was a pastor. He wasn't a pastor. He come out of Luther's church, I think, originally. He left. Fat dude, had a big knot on his forehead. I forget his damn name. I tell you, he's a good dude, though. He worked for the bank up there on Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon Plaza. I forget that dude's name. Elder, oh, shit. I don't remember his name. I go to the damn phone. I use the bathroom. Is it 12? Yeah, but no, it's maybe 2. Yeah, take my pill. And hey, I hope they helped you today, this morning, this afternoon. That I'm calm now. I let that out, man. That really hurts me that y'all did the stuff that y'all did, man. And thought I was really gonna be canceled and be dead and gone, bro. That's wrong. That's just fucked up. And I hope somebody pick an investigation upon y'all's ass. I hope y'all do. I hope the governor wake the fuck up and I cover this shit about this fake adoption, because if that judge did some shit like that, he was connected to Greg Fanbro's family and shit, and Greg was working for the county and all that bullshit. That's weird as hell, man. And my mom sacrificed me like that. Yeah. You got my siblings and shit talking shit to me, especially Keita and goddamn Giannis and that stupid ass London. Kobe out to lunch. You don't know what the fuck he said. You don't know whether he coming or going. You know what I mean? But that goddamn London and who looked just like me, and that motherfucking Yance and that goddamn Keita, and you let this bitch antagonize y'all like that, and you confused as fuck, like you got that goddamn hillbilly girl that thinks she's black and got a hillbilly baby, and that baby, as soon as that boy get older and her baby daddy a redneck, he gonna fuck her and call you. She gonna call you a motherfucking nigger. You watch and see what I'm telling you. If she that goddamn comfortable where she can think she black and got a hillbilly baby, and you married her, what you think fuck gonna happen to you? And you got a mixed baby with a Bible name, you dumb bastard. You stupid as fuck. Then call me talking about, well, I marry you. I tell you, yeah, you was already married. You retarded as fuck. And you deserve everything you got coming, you stupid bastard. And you want to be up here with them goddamn people, them with 18, 19 people, and y'all motherfuckers don't want to listen, and you want to be the product of a motherfucker that pushed your mama out, and your mama tried to kill him, and your brother was strung out on goddamn drugs and shit, doing all kind of weird shit, coming up at your mama, your sister in there don't know what the fuck she doing, because if Phyllis dropped dead tomorrow, Keita can't take care of herself. The state gonna take that baby. They're gonna take Keita, and they're gonna take that motherfucking Kobe. His ass gonna be locked up somewhere. Greg gonna be in a goddamn convalescent home because he's a veteran, so the government gonna take him. And then y'all gonna be left out there fucked up. And y'all took all that energy listening to Phyllis Elaine Pryor, 12-16-52, and you want to listen to that retarded bitch and let that motherfucker kill your dad, because that's your blood right there. And you let your uncles and cousins rape you and shit like that. And then y'all sit back and help her antagonize and fuck with me. And then when I say something, all you motherfuckers want to run and hide. Keep hiding, because you Grand Avenue motherfuckers are still keeping contact with you. I'm going to find out exactly who it was that helped with that goddamn adoption. And I'm going to get y'all motherfuckers for sure. I'm going to definitely try to get that church shut down. And I reached out to Chris. I was proud of Chris, talk good about to Chris, just try to talk to Bruce to try to get an understanding why you act so goddamn weird. But Bruce Kelly never did call me. So now if you are the leader of the house of that church over there, you need to get your goddamn house in order. And I hope you retire from the post office because I hate for you to be representing, a government entity as far as employment and you operating and letting these people operate like the goddamn devil, especially long before you was the pastor, when you was sitting in the congregation on the same side as my mama, 2 seats ahead, right behind goddamn Dale Forbes and Jill, you and your wife, and you sit there. No, you was right in front of Dorothy because it was Dale Butler, then it was Jill and Dale, then it was Bruce Kelly, then it was Dorothy, and then it was my mother because my mother was nursing them kids in church, and when she would always sit right by the goddamn door so she can get out right through the aisle, go out the door, or she just throw her goddamn kitty out and feed the baby. And Brother Kennedy would have to get up in church and say, "Take the baby out," because Kitty be screaming in church, "No, no, 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 no!" Oh, that wild retarded ass shit. Most kids is getting nursed. They got something fucked up in their head. I wasn't nursed. I wasn't nursed. Keita, Gregory, Giannis, and Kobe. All them motherfuckers was sucking Keita's titty. And Serena's child was too. Oh, remember I was getting that since Trina was going on calling and asking people about it. Yeah, Trina Dawn, while y'all talk about me and shit and y'all keep sparing Phyllis, walked in and caught her nursing Kobe and her grandson, alleged grandson, at the same goddamn time. That's her grandma. And Serena kept wondering every time we go down there, Dee would want to go to goddamn Phyllis because she was taking them in that back room, letting them suck on her titties. And that wasn't even her child. And then that goddamn Daryl, see what I'm talking about? You'll protect a motherfucker, Serena, and let motherfuckers call me a pedophile, but you didn't never want to talk about when Daryl had me locked up and he came to your house and tried to rape you while you was in the bathtub and one of the kids witnessed it. And you didn't even try to press no charges or nothing, but you sure as fuck try to keep me out of jail where you calling me a goddamn nigger. So that lets me know that when my family told me when I first met you was already pregnant with that little boy, I should have listened to him because you went to high school with my cousin, Junior, remember my blood cousin? And you used to hang around that whole Joyce, that little white girl Joyce down there on Ohio and goddamn Thurman when I met you. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So don't talk no shit to me. Okay? So Trina, if you need to do the research, that's what you need to check on. While you protecting your goddamn aunt that had her goddamn your own. You remember you called me your little brother and you love me and nobody gonna fuck with me. You had them getting SA and you was molesting people too, Trina. Now don't make me. That just popped in my mind too. Remember we walked in and caught you with that little young person letting them suck on your goddamn titties in that bedroom that Eveline was in. That's the room Eveline was in. Cause grandma was in that back room, straight back. That room to the left was your room. The little small room. You had the smallest goddamn room in the house. Because Michael and Daryl shared a room. Because Michael had all that stereo equipment back there and he was in there and you was running with them big ass titties as a teenager and you was laying around in there. They said you was getting messed with too, but you was messing with that one little young boy. Getting your titties sucked on and shit, and you was. And you was in high school then. You was on the beach crop off thing because you was sneaking out the goddamn door because Phyllis was teaching you how to make polo sauce sandwiches. Because they would leave me and Daryl. Daryl didn't like polo sauces at the time. You make Daryl fried bologna sandwiches and put tomato, lettuce, and all that shit on it, and you make medium fried polo sauce. Uncle Hobby used to go down to the meat market down there and get them big ass franks. And that's what y'all did, you and Phyllis. And then y'all leave. I'll be sitting right there because when you walked in that house on Marcia, and they had that thing right there, and we would sit right there, had that bench right there. We sit there with them stools, and me and Daryl eat right there, watching that little black and white TV in the corner because we wasn't allowed in the living room on Saturday morning when I'd be over there because Uncle Hoppy didn't be watching Howard Cosell and shit, and baseball and shit. That Capone set TV there. But who was the dancer though? No, we was in this some pleasant shit. I was the one dancing up that motherfucker, me and you know what I mean. And Michael knew it. Michael knew I had the gift of the slide. I was doing all kind of shit. That's when the whole living room had mirrors on it. See y'all little young motherfuckers over there, Julie and all y'all was babies. Now y'all weren't even born. Shit. That whole goddamn living room was glass, mirrors all over that goddamn. Before that wall got knocked out and they put that goddamn air conditioning thing right there. All that shit right there was a straight wall and mirrors right there. I'll be in there dancing every goddamn Saturday night. And I wasn't playing either. Picking them up, putting them goddamn down. And I can dance still. New and old dance. I can't do all that weird, all that juking shit. But I can do it. I got bad legs and shit now. I dance in other ways. My wife be prepared. But she don't be prepared. She be out to lunch. So I don't be worrying about it. I just pick up my phone. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, y'all need to get together and cut this shit out. Cause I'm far from done. And I wouldn't give a fuck if it made national news, what it did, as long as my story get heard and people know the fucking truth. Because ain't nobody ever clapped back and called me a liar. Y'all was busy spreading lies, but y'all can't defend y'all shit now because y'all out of gas. I got a full tank, baby, and I got overflow, baby. I got overflow too. So I don't give a fuck about what you talking about. Y'all been out of gas. Y'all been putting for a long time. I just didn't have the courage really, and then it wasn't that I was scared, but my health was more important, and I had to bounce back. Then I had to fight to get my name back and use my own methods to get people to get the information I needed to clear my name. Now my name clear, I'm hell on wheels. And I don't give a fuck how you feel. I hope you all go to jail. See, I don't have to slide on you. I'm sliding back this way by telling your goddamn business and let folks investigate. There's some of these nosy ass bloggers that's getting paid going there and dig shit up. If they really want to know, you got all these goddamn people and nobody want to talk about shit unless you're a celebrity. So that just gives you your invitation carry charge. You're a celebrity. So you got the juice to get and say what the fuck you want to say and say it how you want to say it. But my stepmom down there in Missouri City, Texas, young lady, if you got something to say to me, since you're so goddamn holy, you need to speak up. Because my dad didn't come up in no goddamn church, never went to church with his wife, none of that shit. Now all of a sudden you got him brainwashed and doing all this weird shit. Tracy, everybody terrified of Tracy. You done slid in and doing all this weird shit. That's fine and dandy. You ain't got to never call me, baby. Joanne, whatever the fuck your name is. I don't even remember your name. But what I will tell you is you're not going to disrespect me, siding with Tracy and nobody else while my dad was fighting for his goddamn life and you telling me to calm down. But when your motherfucking son's head was decapitated and you had a doping son out there, you and your husband, my daddy, was calling me for motherfucking prayer when your goddamn brain was out to lunch. So think about that, you church lady. I ain't going to call you out your goddamn name, but I'm going to call you a church lady and say that you are an enabler and hindering the progress on what could have happened with this goddamn family. You an in-law, motherfucker. Now we'll call you a motherfucker. You an in-law. Okay? You ain't my mama. You ain't Carrie's mama. You ain't Jason, Brian, or Tracy's mama. Right? But we are all his children. Okay? So don't get it twisted. If I wanted to do some weird shit, I am the oldest child. I can step to the plate and cause you a whole bunch of motherfucking problems. Because you can't leave me out the equation and I'm a goddamn blood relative. And I'm fighting for my life and my dad in there struggling. I couldn't be there to help my father out because you got a goddamn dummy on goddamn NBC4 talking about my dad didn't want to see me and I'm nothing but a problem to the family. That's what you text me. And then you call Tracy. Tracy called me, don't say nothing, D. You know what? I'm going to flip the fuck out. And I call him flip out and he go in and get in Jason's ear. You're weird as hell. And Tracy, maybe that you need to get, once you graduate from herpes to syphilis, bitch, pass that out. And you got your goddamn son so terrified. Once you take it to the next level and go ahead and marry his ass, since you so goddamn secure and want to control the goddamn men in the family and do all this goddamn controlling, bitch, you can't control me, but you did my grandchild who's innocent. And my child, you did them wrong and you did it illegally and you're going to get charged for that. And if Deanna don't have the goddamn balls to speak up and file charges on your goddamn ass, then I'll speak up for my goddamn grandchild and I'll go ahead and turn your goddamn name in because I got all that information too. Okay, along with the text message and along from the goddamn peanut gallery down in Puerto Rico that was trying to gaslight me and set me up. But when I asked the motherfucker to give me the information to defend my name while y'all was dragging me and shit, y'all didn't want to do that. Mr. Dorian. Y'all didn't want to do that, but you called my daughter and gaslight her with some bullshit. Okay? So whatever you think you want to do, fine. But if you want to send me some content, you can send the content too, sir. Since you want to, be so pervasive and talk all this shit behind my goddamn back, go ahead and bust it open. I don't really give a fuck. Okay? I don't give a damn. I'm not a preacher. I don't have nothing to hide. But what I ain't going to do is let y'all sit back and gaslight me and say all this bullshit. And you got motherfuckers robbing my grandchildren, robbing my goddamn kids. They all fucked up in the head. And they're surrounded by all these ghetto fabulous motherfuckers. They ain't got a goddamn thing going for themselves. And you walk around infected too. You look at your pale ass. Yeah, you might be cute, baby, but you ain't that goddamn cute to be talking about me and you walk around with a whole goddamn body full of infection. So you shut the fuck up too. And you take your ass on. Since you want to be, so cute and famous, and you talking about you a hung bottom and all this bullshit. Well, go ahead and bottom, baby. Come on, matter of fact, come on back to Columbus there. Since you want to set me up and do all this bullshit, come on back to Columbus and bring your ass out here to grow what's it called? I'll buy you a ticket. I'll buy you a ticket. I hope my daughter listening too, because they gaslighters too, and they can call him and get this shit popping off real good. Since y'all had all this energy to gaslight me and try to set me up and ask me all kind of weird ass questions and shit, but then y'all ain't got no goddamn nothing to say when these motherfuckers is violating y'all and shit. Y'all want to come for me? Well, stay where the fuck y'all at and keep all that goddamn talking and watch these goddamn lives and learn something. And learn that you got to learn how to speak up for your goddamn self and let that bitch over on Inlet Drive watch the live too. I might even unblock her and send it to her. And then send it down there to goddamn Child Enforcement Agency, and then we can let them investigate her all that goddamn money she stole from me. Because I do know that. That she stole a whole bunch of goddamn money from me using fake addresses and shit and getting checks and shit sent to that goddamn house for them kids, and you didn't know nothing about it. Now you in goddamn arrears and shit. I'm going to speak for you, motherfucker, since you can't speak for your goddamn self. Since she stole all the goddamn money from you and shit, and you can't speak up, but you got a whole bunch of goddamn energy to take up for goddamn Dave, Pooch, Durine, and everybody goddamn else, and this bitch been robbing you, and you in debt and fucked up right now because this deranged bitch, you go ahead and do that then. But I'm speaking up for you, and if somebody from the state watching this goddamn live, go over on Inlet Drive and investigate Serena Perry. Do that. Bitch, that's my present to you. I know your birthday in February, but you got Christmas coming. Okay, happy Merry Christmas to you, Serena. Merry Christmas. And Merry Christmas to you, Clifford, 484 Previous Avenue. Send the feds over your goddamn house and have that motherfucker arrested. And then find out where Chrissy and Carrie and them at and going over there and take their ass too. Take all of them out. Take them all to goddamn jail. And then talk to the goddamn mama over there on Jenkins and ask why the fuck her aunt and them was running up bills and using addresses and look up in the system, Job and Family Service, and find out why the fuck everybody using 484 Previous Avenue as their goddamn address, and everybody got their own goddamn address. Receiving government assistance and benefits and food stamps, EBT, ABC, and y'all sitting around talking about me being a scammer and all this shit. Bitch, I ain't never scammed the system, ain't never been sanctioned by no goddamn system, and I'm alive and well. So you go to hell. How about that? You got almost 3 hours out of me. Take care. Stupid motherfucker. Fuck around, woke me the fuck up. Don't wake the dreamer up, motherfucker. Don't do that. Please don't. Thank you.